life got you down? Have other social media platforms turned their backs and tuned in hate? Are you searching for a safe, exciting, and empowering lesbian, bisexual, and queer sapphic community?
Lesbians.
Then please strap on your helmets.
Where the fuck is my helmet?
And get ready to lift off. We're moving to Venus. We created Venus, a new app and platform to be our collective village square, a vibrant and visual hub where connection thrives.
I don't think there's any better time for this type of group to come together, this type of community to come together, because I think it's a matter of just finding your people.
It isn't a dating app. It's a home, a hub, a community. Something we need now more than ever.
So liberation has to include the most marginalized individuals, or it's not liberation.
Our mission is to ignite authentic and active conversations around shared interests like sports, health, love, family, social justice, and more. We have meetups.
I think that was probably the first clue that I was a lesbian.
And he also thinks he's a lap dog.
And every time there'll be a new pet with a new drink.
I'm just loving the interaction.
Member-led groups.
Welcome to this edition of the Black Lesbian Liberation Speaker Series presented by the L Project for the Venus community.
Dating and sex tips.
Where can we find her, Dr. Frankie? That's the question I get so often.
Movie nights, networking, celebrity interviews, morning meditation, and more.
Venus is amazing, and it's never been done before.
This isn't just a space, it's a movement.
Over the next few years of founders at Venus, building and reaching out to different communities, you will build an intersectional platform that speaks to everybody.
We didn't have an app like this growing up, and to have a platform such as Venus to allow other people that are too afraid or not understanding that there's so much more life within our community out there.
Most oftentimes, we are the only queer person in a room. And I think that it's just a no-brainer that if you join an app like Venus, you will make friends. It's like guaranteed. You will build connections.
So join us.
Become a V. Side effects may include giggling after sex, the urge to merge, and good old lesbian drama.
Welcome. We made it. We made it. Welcome to Venus. Welcome to Venus. Oh my God. I am Katherine Linton, co-founder of Venus, and
I'm Shirin Etessam, also co-founder of Venus. Katherine is in a much more exciting setting than I am. Let us know where you are.
I am live at the Stonewall Inn. And if you don't know what the Stonewall Inn is,
shame on you.
Shame on you. Turn in your gay card immediately. The Stonewall Inn is the birthplace of our movement, of the revolution that has brought us here. And I am so honored that the owners of Stonewall have invited Venus here. I'm going to be live streaming here all day. And there is a live party here tonight, which we will also live stream. So I cannot thank the Stonewall Inn and Kurt Kelly and Lawrence, who's running tech, and everybody here today. So I am just thrilled to be at the Stonewall Inn.
I am in Marin, California with my puppy and my 2 cats. And I've kicked my wife out. No, she went willingly, but hopefully she is tuning in. Anyway, super, super excited to be here. Seems like the crowd is building back there, yeah?
The party's already begun at Stonewall. I actually wonder if it ever stops. I thought nobody's going to be here at 3
You're
p.m.
like, stop.
I'm like, whoa. I don't think anyone ever left since the Stonewall riots. I think it's been going on since then. So clearly you should always come to the Stonewall because there's always going to be people here. Is what I would say.
Truth.
Pool, the bar, upstairs, parties.
See, now I'm getting jealous. We also have an amazing celebration launch party in LA at Sapphic Swim with the wonderful Anna Goodman. She's been gracious to have us sponsor the event and launch our LA celebrations there, which is fantastic. And then we'll be live streaming some of that much later after the Stonewall celebrations. And we've got an amazing lineup today and a lot of interviews with amazing lesbians, content creators, subject matter experts, activists. We are so very lucky who are all part of the Venus community already.
What is the Venus community, Shirin, and why did it start?
Well, let me tell you.
Well, thank you, Shirin.
So, long story short, I started some of you may know, a video platform called OML. We rebranded to OML. It used to be One More Lesbian, and the name was A Blessing and a Curse. So everybody referred to it as OML. So I'm referring to it as OML, and it is now OML Television. We curate quality queer women's content of all kinds, web series, shorts, PSAs, whatever it is. The platform and the channel got popular quite quickly, and we did lots of partnerships with the likes of After Ellen and She Wired and Autostraddle back in the day. And the YouTube channel hit 1 million subs well, it was last summer sometime, and Vimeo reached out to us saying that they wanted to create a SVOD channel, which is something we may still do, sort of like a lesbian Netflix. And so we went down that path, and I reached out to Katherine, because she is amazing with all things queer content, Emmy Award-winning. So, but the more we talked about it and how we could possibly differentiate ourselves from the competition who we've actually collaborated with in the past and love, the more we talked about how we would differentiate ourselves if we were to create this SVOD channel, the more we realized that what our community needs most, more than an SVOD channel, is community. There are many dating apps out there, but there's no substantial queer women, queer, bisexual, non-binary, trans, lesbian, inclusive community out there. So we set out to build it, and we have, and we want you to join. Did I say enough?
Yes, sure you did. However, you didn't say what it is. So one of the things, I mean, you did say what it is, but what's in it? And what's in it, and I'm going to speak fast because we're already at 3:10. So when you enter the wonderful planet of Venus and you become a V, one of the things that we are trying to do is, what Shirin was saying is that, and one of the things we emphasize more than anything is safety, and we have created a safe and private community. people will have to verify their identity. After today, we're implementing that so that people have to show their identity, that you have to prove that you are who you say you are, because that, as we call ourselves, the lesbian mama bears, that's really important to us for Venus. And when you get in, we're trying to connect people. Woo, somebody got a good shot. So we're trying to connect people based on issues and ideas. And, we have a whole book section, and we have advocacy, and we talk about sports and family. Where, people meet and connect when they learn something about each other. We're trying to create something that is the opposite of the nasty swipe culture, where it's like, I don't like your shirt, so I'm going to swipe you. That really we're trying to connect lesbian, queer, bisexual women, like as Shirin said, non-binary, trans, lesbian, inclusive, so that based on who we are, because most people probably know that the GLAAD 2025 report came out with saying that most major social media platforms have become unsafe for us. So we are really doing our best to create a very safe space for us, safe and fun. So we've got meetups, we've got director series, we've got Shirin leads a fantastic meditation on Sunday mornings that I benefited very much from this past Sunday morning. We have cocktails, claws, and paws because everybody loves to talk about their pets. We are networking, and we're implementing programming so that people we can have, yes, sometimes there's Zooms, and yes, we want to have in-person meetups like our parties tonight, so that it is all based on trying to connect us and bring us together, because we're more powerful together than apart. That's what I have to say.
What she said.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important to mention that we're really kind of counting on all the members to help us build the community, that this isn't a, we produce content and we communicate and you react to it. I mean, it really is a community. So if you want to start a group, whether that be virtually or in person or both, you can do that. You can list your business. You can, there's just so many different ways that you can contribute. You don't have to, but it would be beautiful. I mean, at the very least, it could be your private Facebook, to share various things that excite you. But we're really, really hoping that people are pulled to find, to really take ownership, to the extent that you feel comfortable doing it. So I like to say that we started it, but we are looking to you to help us grow it. If you're still blank.
And we are probably right almost at our first interview.
Yes,
so
with the wonderful Dalila Ali Rajah. I believe she has arrived.
She has, and I'm probably going to be taken off screen. And
you are. We just got a 30-second.
Kick me off, and I may have to go to a different room if it's too loud. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, here. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna go. Okay.
And bye.
Now it's not so loud. Well, I'm gonna be okay.
Yay, 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 yay. Look how beautiful you look. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. We can mime together. I blame Catherine because it was so loud.
No, it's something switched on. I checked this early, even with Steven. I was just gonna say Steven saw me as a hot mess. I didn't know anybody else was gonna be in here, and he was testing something, and all of a sudden we were both on the stage, and I was like, "Good thing I'm wearing clothes for this sound check." I thought I was doing alone.
All right. Well, we have a short amount of time together, and Stephen, by the way, is our wonderful technical director.
Hey, thank you for all the things you're doing, Stephen.
In the background. So I want to jump right into it. I've known the wonderful Dalila for many, many years. We have gone through many adventures together. Good, bad, ugly, some that we won't talk about.
You know.
But here we are. So I am going to give you a proper intro, and then we will jump in. Okay, so Dalila Ali Rajah is a powerhouse neurospicy storyteller. I want to come back to what neurospicy means. An actress, writer, producer, and founder of the Black Queer Joy movement, named one of the Advocates Entertainers of the Year, and featured in Out Magazine's Out 100. She is a true artivist whose work celebrates visibility and joy. Dalila co-created the queer women's talk show Cherry Bomb, which I so loved and miss, which ran for 5 seasons, and her award-winning short film, Secrets and Toys, has reached over 7.8 million viewers, specifically on an amazing channel called OML.
That you may have heard of.
She also appeared in Grey's Anatomy, 911, NCIS, and Criminal Minds. A force both on and off screen, Dalila brings fire, vision, and unapologetic authenticity to everything she does. And I'm so glad you're here. You're our very first interview. And we have to go rapid fire because Stephen will then kick us off. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So before I jump into, and I only have 3 questions, but I'm always off script. Tell us a little bit about what neurospicy means to you.
So I'm neurodivergent. My brain works different than neurotypical brains, which for anybody who doesn't know what neurotypical means, it's just usually straight, cisgendered, white, heterosexual men who our world is built to how their brains work. And anybody whose brain doesn't work that way sometimes has more challenges, and some of us more than others, to the point where it is considered a disability, like officially. And I am very late diagnosed. My beautiful, also neurospicy young human diagnosed himself after realizing what was going on with him. And then I was like, well, what would make you think that? Like, what symptoms? And then he listed them. And I was like, well, I have half of those and your dad has the other half. And he's like, I know. So like, it was like, oh, I had been not realizing that I'd been just masking and trying to cover up and didn't know why certain things were the way for me that they weren't for others. I just didn't get it. And it enabled me to really let go of a lot of shame, let go of a lot of internalized stigma, to realize that other times when people were like, well, why are you like that? And what's wrong with you? It's like, actually, nothing's wrong with me. My brain just works different than yours. Yeah. So, and you're obviously out with it because you want to like destigmatize. Absolutely. This is the thing, most creatives, and actually the number of queer and trans and gender non-binary people who fall under the spectrum of all kinds of neurospicy is exponential. It's something crazy, like I think 1 in 4 or something like that, maybe more. So all of us are walking through the world with a different kind of thinking brain, and some of us are able to mask it more than others. But that takes a lot of energy. Oh, is that a puppy? Maggie. Sorry about that. No, it's all good. My dog is shaking in the back too, like making little noises. But some of us, and for a long time, I act, hi, sweetness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, how cute are you? Yeah, I can't. Mine is hiding behind me in a little cuddle puddle. But the masking requires a lot of energy, and not like, once I realized what was happening, I started actually preemptively outing myself, just so that people were like, if something seemed weird or if I thought differently or whatever, people knew what place to put it in. It's like, you know, autism, ADHD, there's a whole list, a laundry list of things that you can put in the bucket. But I think having an awareness of like people's needs and like my own, and like because I'm more like of an extrovert and a lot of people are not, who are dealing with this, me being able to say it out loud unapologetically and not have it be something that I'm shameful about, I think leaves room for people to educate themselves about themselves and about other people and about their children, because it's almost always runs in families. Like, I think whenever a child gets diagnosed, the parents really should go and get themselves like at least looked at and look and see if there's a possibility, because it's hereditary.
I love that you're doing that. And that just so speaks to the person, human leader that you are. First question, well, I guess that would be the second question. Can you tell us a little bit about the Black Queer Joy movement and what inspired you to start it?
Yes. So I'm going to try and keep it tight because I know we're on a limited time, but I went to go see Rafiki as a part of Outfest Fusion one year, and I took my trans NB son with me, who I think at the time he was like 14, maybe 15. And we were both watching the film, which is beautiful, by the way. If you have not seen it, you should watch it. It's by this incredible African filmmaker. Gorgeous. And there came a point where the characters were in like a heightened joy moment. And I had the thought like, oh shit, something bad is about to happen. And I didn't say it out loud, but my kid said, shit, they're too happy. Something bad's going to happen.
Wow.
And ultimately, the film is beautiful, and it's not one of those that you have to worry about like people jumping off the building at the end. So if you're looking for queer joy and like, you should watch it. But I was in the lobby and I started crying. I was like, we are a multi-generational, openly queer family with supportive grandparents, cousins, aunties, like that are at that point, some of them in their 70s and 80s. And we still had that thought sitting in a theater full of other queer people at a queer film festival. And I was like, if we're doing that when we watch a movie or a TV show, what are we doing in our lives whenever we feel joy?
Wow.
And again, I just started crying, and I was like, there has to be something that can change this, like where we can rewire and build the muscle and a tolerance for joy, and then a thriving for joy, and then a flourishing for joy. And I was like, okay, in specific, this was a Black story, and it's me and my son are Black. And I was like, okay, let me just look up. I said, I'm sure there's somebody else already doing this work. Let me just look up Black queer joy, see how I can support them. I did this literally in the lobby. And I was like, nothing, crickets. And then I was like, let me see if the Instagram is taken or the website. Also nothing. I was like, in that moment, I bought it. Didn't tell anybody, though. I kept it secret for probably like a year and a half that it was me who was running the site, maybe a little more. And I just started looking for images of joy, images of Black queer people in their joyous moments. And I was like, if we see it, then we know it's possible, and we can build a tolerance and build the muscle of being able to be it, because we're taught that that's dangerous for us. Like, don't be too loud, don't be too visible, don't be too happy, otherwise the white supremacists come and get us. That's what like the Red Summer of 1919, where all of those cities, like Tulsa's the one most people know about now, and they only know about it because of Watchmen, most people. But that summer, there were so many cities that got burned down for the same reason. Like a lot of them. There was like almost a campaign in local papers where they kept passing around fake stories that then had people attack these Black towns. And I was like, we've been trained that we're not safe when people see our joy. But what if our joy is revolutionary? And having that, which I think is our resilience, I truly, truly feel that all marginalized communities have done this, but I think in particular Black queer people, just because when you noodle it down, like especially like Black queer and trans people are like in this barrel of like invisibility and a focus for a lot of vitriol. Like we balance on a razor thin blade between rage and grace. And I think what allows that balancing act is the ability to transmute experiences into joy. And to find that connection with each other. And I think the more that we do that, and the more that we build the muscle, and the more that we have that ripple throughout community, the stronger we get. And when I first started looking, what's crazy is I couldn't find, everybody was like in all the photos. Like I kept finding all these photos of like people mean mugging. And I realized like that mask was our protection. It was like, we're strong. We can fight. We can do the things. And people didn't realize the power of what joy could be. But the more I looked for the photos and the more I posted the photos and the more people started sending me photos, I started finding more photos of people experiencing joy.
Yeah, you making me weepy on different levels. One, because I have a Black daughter and I want her to play this on loop, and she carries, now I am weepy. Then she carries a lot of joy with her, but just the idea of, like waiting for the other shoe to drop, like that's just, that just
and the thing is, Western storytelling is built that way.
Yeah.
And I truly feel like it's because this may be controversial this time, sorry y'all, but like,
don't apologize, please.
Our infrastructure is built, again, around white, cis, heterosexual men who have created a system under white supremacy where they do not need emotional dexterity. They don't need emotional resilience at the same level as other people.
Yep.
They have created a system that allows them to fail up a lot. Even people who have been through trauma, like the ability to move through it doesn't carry all these other monikers on it, right? So a part of, sociologically, and this is a real, like, sociologists out there, I think you'll probably amen on this, but sociologically, we have to, even if we're not experiencing it, part of our society practices things that we might encounter. I think a part of what's happened is because the people greenlighting the stories and the people who are telling things are trying to provide the ability for white cishet men who are in the top of the system to have some sort of emotional dexterity in case something goes wrong and the system fails, right? So like, what if the other shoe drops? Like constantly, the system doesn't do that with them the same way it does with us. They don't need that, but they play it out in watching different stories, which is why I think the rise of the anti-hero and how these stories have consistently gotten darker and darker and darker and darker, because there's a need for practice as the levels of disparity of wealth and the disparity around race keep splitting this way, right? We don't need that. We don't need that. What we need is a building of a muscle and a practice that if the other shoe drops, there's a treasure at our feet. If the other shoe drops, there's something we're picking up that we'll carry along on our journey that is giving us resilience. What we need is a remembrance, as most people of color have, that our ancestors are always with us and that death is not the end, and that there is like a communal connection with each other that helps hold each other together. Like that's what we need. That's what we need. So like, I feel like this is what fosters that. And I think there is actually, even in a lot of that, like race is a construct, but it's a construct that's perpetuated by our systems, right? Even within the people who are identified as white in our society, that is a construct. Originally, there were cultures that they come from. And I mean, they colonized each other first, but there was a place they came from with culture and spirituality and different languages and things that held them together in a different kind of community than it's held now. And there's a separation that's happened over time. And so I think there's other people seeking that too. I didn't get through more than half your questions. I'm sorry. I was trying to we already have to jump off. You need to, like, this is just a small sampling of the magic of Dalila. So when she says multi-hyphenated storyteller, she's not kidding. So thank you. And you have to stay very close to Venus. Promise. Yes, I will. And I think one of my dear friends is coming up next, right? Haviland is coming up next, yes. I don't know if Haviland's in the waiting room, but hey, have fun. Love
All
you.
right, thank you. All right, and you continue.
Here I am.
Oh my God, it's Haviland.
I'm very close.
You're very close. You're very close. My hair has gone cray cray in the last in the time that I have been off screen. I am at the Stonewall, Haviland.
Yay! I love the Stonewall. I wish I were there in person.
I wish you were here too, because the party's already started here. It is the afternoon here in New York. And the party's already started. And Haviland, I'm just going to intro you, okay? Because you're so fabulous, and people need to know who you are.
Thank you.
Haviland Stillwell is an actor, singer, director, and producer whose career spans Broadway, film, television, voiceover, and digital media. She's known globally as the voice of Raquel in Barbie: Life in the Dream House. And her credits include Broadway's Les Miserables and Fiddler on the Roof, Ava DuVernay's Selma, Magic Mike XXL, and numerous TV series and animated projects. With her wife, Reed, she runs Team Stillwell, producing projects from film festival favorites to the upcoming Broadway production of Transparent, the musical. Haviland continues to bring her voice, talent, and creativity to every corner of entertainment. We are so honored to have you as a member of Venus. Whoop, whoop. And with us here today, welcome, Haviland.
Welcome, Katherine. Hello, everyone all over the world watching this right now, and hello in the Stonewall. It has been a minute since I've been there, but oh my God, what a cool place.
Oh my God, we are so honored that they are letting us crash their party over here. All right, Haviland, you've worked in theater, TV, film, and voiceover. How have your experiences in different mediums shaped the way you tell stories for and about queer women?
Interesting question. So I think my experience in different mediums really, first off, I always wanted to work in all different media and mediums. I think storytelling is the same. It's just the audience is slightly different. And the point is to connect to everybody as much as possible. Even like right now we're live streaming. That's a thing that didn't exist a few years ago. It's a way to get people to connect and feel, less alone. And I think one of the kind of unfortunate parts of queerdom is that, for too long, people kind of really had to seek each other out. It was really hard to find each other. And it was dangerous on one hand. And also there were all kinds of, we all know this, right? There were all these things that came up. But I think for, and honestly, Katherine, we're kind of going through that in a different way now. So I think having safe, like, we kind of throw that around like safe spaces, but I mean, quite literally now, like safety is of importance. So I think just being able to hopefully represent, as a member of the family, and also to, tell queer stories are everybody's stories. That's the thing. Like, just like every other minority, it's everybody's stories. We all have individual lived life experiences. And, we do our best as actors and creators to, tell the stories in honest and compelling ways that hopefully people who can connect with them through personal experience are going to really lean into, but also people that maybe don't have that experience will maybe have a little empathy for folks who have, and kind of lean in and understand that we're actually quite connected, all of us. Even though we're so divided in so many ways, we are actually quite connected. We are one, Katherine.
Should we start singing, Haviland?
Yeah.
We are the world. No, that's not it. We are one. How can performers and storytellers help engage the queer community, and queer audiences today in action? I mean, is there a way that storytellers can inspire engagement and action?
Well, what kind of action? I mean, yeah, the sky's the limit, but what do you mean exactly?
Like community engagement and, to get involved. I think there's a way in which, people are, I don't know. I know for me, I hear a lot, like, it's so overwhelming. I'm tuning out.
Yeah. Well, I think self-preservation is number one. It's a lot right now. I think it's a lot. I'm not, this isn't about politics at all. This is literally about just, I wish everybody got along. I wish we were just having disagreements about what your favorite color is, or like, do you like this kind of outfit or this kind of outfit? Like, I wish, it was that simple. And, maybe we will get there. But for now, I think, we've been asked to show up a lot, to be active literally in the streets, which we have literally been. We have been asked to be active on our socials. And certainly, I think as public figures or anybody with a platform, which kind of is everybody, because everybody has social now, sure, there's an element of, yes, do your part. But please, everyone, take care of yourselves, because I do think that is first and foremost. And I know a lot of times I don't know if you guys feel this way too, but I feel the pressure to kind of be like, oh, everything I do all the time, apologies, dogs, so many animals. There's probably a delivery person and they're just like so angry about it. If you want action, talk to my dogs. They're all over it. My cat's unfazed. She's like, whatever, I'm beautiful. I don't need to do a thing. But I think, do what you can, but also it's okay if you feel overwhelmed. It's okay to just step back. It's okay to experience joy. It's actually, please experience joy. Please do the things that make you full of joy. That is honestly the best thing we can do right now. And of course, take care of your community, check in on people. But I don't think we can really, now is not the time for everybody to yell at each other inside of the community to be more active. I mean, quite honestly, sure, if you can, yes. If you have the mental capacity, if you have the financial capacity, all of those things, but also just have a good time, have some joy in your life, get some laughs,
Can you hear me?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Said my mic was muted. What issues drive you, Haviland? When we talked last, I can tell there's certain things. I'm curious what gets you up in the morning?
Well, I love creating. I'm pretty positive in general, although it's, things have been extra challenging for optimists, but I mean, I think I love creating and I love connecting with people. So the work that I'm doing right now as an actor, especially, and a creator, is to create spaces that are fun, that are entertaining, that connect people. So I love that you guys are doing this. It's amazing. It's such a very specific place for the community to come together. And I mean, really, there's so many, I'm excited to see kind of so many places that this could go, and so many opportunities. It's kind of like, it could be so many things. So that's cool. But also for me, I think I'm kind of zoning in a little bit on the people that do, contribute to my happiness. And part of that is I love being of service. I love being an entertainer, performer. It's fun. I like playing dress up. I like laughing. I like doing scenes. I love acting. I love voiceover. I love singing. All of these things bring me joy, and sharing those things with people that appreciate it really brings me joy. So I think now is the time to kind of just hone in on the people that really do kind of highlight that for you.
I'm in New York, Transparent the musical. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, it's based on the Amazon series, same writing team. The lead producer on that is Eva Price, who is also a queer woman. She's amazing. She's like the biggest producer on Broadway. And she's doing her kind of biggest hit right now is Anne Juliet, but she also did Titanic. She did the Oklahoma revival, where, Lori was in a wheelchair. She's very inventive and cool and takes a lot of risks and has had a great track record. So transparent is amazing. I saw it out here in LA when they did it. And just honestly was blown away. I thought it was so fun and great. And the Soloways have just knocked it out of the park. And I knew I needed to be involved. And so pretty much like it kind of happened because I was already thinking that. And then Eva reached out because we knew each other through theater and also gay. I got involved, and so yes, if anybody is interested and has and is interested in investment for that kind of thing, please reach out to me. There's it's the timing is we're not exactly sure right now because trans people are under attack. Can I say that without anyone cancel? I don't know what is happening anymore. But the facts are that this is happening. And so I think the time for allyship is like, you got to be an ally. I mean, whatever your privilege is, and almost all of us have it, I'm aware of mine. I'm acutely aware of mine, and I'm acutely aware of the privileges I don't have. But when I have them, I'm like, I need to put my efforts, where I believe in. I need to, there's certain things that, femme presenting white women can do that others can't. And I'm just going to be straight up honest about that because I live that and I know it. And I have friends who aren't those things. And I see how we walk in the world and how people treat us differently. And I hate that. And so it's one of my passions, to in my work, lift people up and do that by connecting with people because I don't know, actually Dalila and I talk about this a lot because we're good friends and neighbors, literally. And we talk about that a lot of sort of like, there's like people that are palatable, which is a gross way to put it, but whatever, to some people. And it's like, you can get in a little bit that way. So having said all of that, at face value, Transparent's just a great show. It's so fun. It's a great musical. I think it's going to be wildly successful. And I think it's just about hitting Broadway at exactly the right time because, safety is of utmost importance. But yeah, actively raising funds for it while the writers continue to tweak and make it perfect, commercially perfect. But it's a show about family. And I mean, I think, when I first came out, a lot of people were so afraid to come out still. And they were still kind of people were saying like, oh, is she family? Is he family? Remember that? Like people wouldn't even say like gay or queer. I mean, definitely nobody was saying queer because that was considered a bad word. Definitely like 20 years ago, nobody was saying queer. If they did, it was a put down. Just absolutely a put down. So that's kind of fun that was taken back. But yeah, it was really about like, family is what was kind of the code word, but that is really what it is. And also, of course, like Transparent, just like the series, is about a Jewish family going through various struggles, and everyone can relate to any kind of family issues, but this family in particular is a Jewish family and also dealing with trans and non-binary issues. So I think, the Jews and the queers have always banded together, and like not being Jewish myself, but being a huge ally, I think it's just something I'm very passionate about, and producing is such hard work. I mean, acting is like so fun and so great, also really hard and has its challenges, but producing is just so hard and like often very thankless. And it's like, if you don't totally love something and just want to you're doing it for the love of it, obviously you're hoping there's a financial return, of course, but really like the passion behind it is what gets people going. So I think in that part, it gets me going. Yeah.
Haviland, this was I'm like, oh no, I gotta go. You have been amazing. Thank you so much. This was so fast. It's 15 minutes. We are honored you're a member of Venus, and Good luck. I cannot wait till that hits Broadway. We in New York, we're all going to go. So,
Yay.
Yay.
Of course you are.
Of course we are. Thank you, Haviland, so much. And we will see you soon on Venus.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yay. Hello. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm like fangirl excited to have you with us. We just went through 2 interviews and these go so darn fast. So I'm just going to jump in and introduce you. I'll let you say hello.
Hi, Shirin. Thank you so much for having me. It is such a pleasure. I'm so excited about the conversation. Thanks for having me, and congratulations. So excited about the Venus.
Thank you. All right. So I'm super excited to welcome someone I've had the honor of getting to know over the past few years, Imani Rupert-Gordon. Yay! Imani is the president of the National Center for LGBTQ Rights, one of the most influential LGBTQ civil rights organizations in the country. Before joining NCLR, she served as executive director of Affinity Community Services in Chicago, a social justice organization serving the Black LGBTQ community. With a background in social work, education, and nonprofit leadership, she has been a powerful voice for intersectional justice, always centering women, people of color, and marginalized communities. Beyond her impressive resume, she's someone who leads with clarity, compassion, and a sense of humor. And I am super thrilled to be in conversation with you today. So thank you. I'm going to jump right on in because we have a short amount of time. So since you've taken the helm of NCLR, now the National Center for LGBTQ Rights, what are the most urgent legal or policy threats you see facing queer people today, especially queer women, trans folks, and people of color? And how is NCLR, National Center for LGBTQ Rights, prioritizing its responses?
Thank you so much. Happy to get into it. And just NCLR is fine. Our acronym never changed. We are NCLR before and NCLR now. Absolutely. So the things I'm concerned about, I am concerned about a lack of abortion care and reproductive care. I'm especially concerned about scrutiny of safe and effective medical care. I'm thinking about vaccines, but I'm especially thinking about medical care for trans folks. Along those lines, I'm very concerned about how we're seeing trans folks be villainized in a variety of ways, from keeping trans kids from playing sports, getting healthcare, being scapegoated for seemingly everything under the guise of protecting women when withholding healthcare, and the type of scrutiny that comes with sports actually ends up hurting women. That misinformation and disinformation I'm concerned about and I'm incredibly frustrated with. I'm concerned about ICE raids, deployment of National Guards in our city. These are obviously and inherently racist. I'm so concerned with just the way that folks are so concerned about just saying what is right. Folks are really concerned about that right now. And those are all things that come up for me. And I'm thinking about this because a few years ago, I was spending a lot of time really concerned about anti-DEI efforts, the Don't Say Gay or Trans bill, anti-CRT efforts, and how this effort to keep the true and accurate telling of slavery outside of schools. And the critique that what we were hearing is that this is really difficult right now, and it's going to be bad for business, and this is going to affect like what boardrooms look like. And those things are true, absolutely. But my concern is that, and this is what I said at the time, is that it creates a world where it's easier to discriminate against people, and we are watching that unfold right now. And so when you get used to asking, will trans people is it fair for trans people to serve in the military? Or can trans people play sports? Can trans kids play sports with their peers? Or can trans people even be celebrated or even mentioned in schools like everyone else? Then it makes it easier for us to question if trans people deserve to have safe and effective medical care that every single person gets and deserves. And so that was my concern. And that's what we're seeing in this moment, that there is this concerted effort to take people in our community out of public life and do it in front of our face. And so what NCLR is doing is really getting out in this early. And so we were the first to challenge the first anti-LGBTQ executive order from this administration, which was the trans military ban. This last week, we filed a challenge to TRICARE, which is the insurance that service members' families get. And this is and this exclusion now prohibits trans kids from receiving health care they need. We take these cases because this is exactly what you do to marginalize people, to find little ways where it says, it isn't okay for you to do this. And we see it in a variety of ways. We saw it throughout civil rights, this is what you do to discriminate against people. And we know that the government is the largest employer in the United States. So this is an issue of economic justice. It's an issue of healthcare and general fairness. And like I mentioned, it helps socialize people to this idea that some people don't deserve full access. And so that is how we are spending the majority of our time. We have a list of cases. I know we have a lot to go, but know that we're out here protecting our community. And if we have time, I'm happy to go through some of our cases.
I love that. No, and there are so many crucial cases, but yes, we are in limited time. So next question, you come from social work and grassroots leadership with a strong commitment to intersectionality. How do you turn that commitment into concrete strategies at NCLR, both in litigation, policy, public policy, and in supporting communities often left out of the narrative?
I love this question. Intersectionality had become such a buzzword for so much for the last 10 years or so. And what it actually means is understanding what we're doing and what we mean by intersectionality. And it's not just an understanding that we all have multiple underrepresented identities. It really is that there are systems in place that make it harder for some people to live their lives. And during a time when we see so much misinformation and disinformation, it's important to call that out clearly. Kimberly Crenshaw coined the term intersectionality, and it's not like just a random idea. It comes specifically from a case where someone sued her employer because she was discriminated against because she was both Black and a woman. And what ended up happening is the employment protections didn't help her because they were set up in such a way where it was really only to support someone that experienced discrimination because of one thing, because they were Black or because they were a woman, but not because someone was a Black woman. And that didn't actually change in California, at least until January of 2025 of this year. So that's what we're talking about. But this is an example of how the most underrepresented folks are often left out and will fall through the cracks if we aren't careful. And so knowing this, NCLR is really strategic in how we decide to take cases. And so we want to make sure that the cases that we take are going to protect everyone. And that is especially true of people of color, low income folks, people with disabilities, folks that have immigrated to this country, and being really thoughtful about that because these are the communities that are so often left out. And so not only do we think about that before, but after we've done our work, we really start to think about, okay, who is actually tangibly benefiting from what we've just done? And then that too becomes part of our calculus for how we take on future cases and how we think about what's next. And so we want to ensure that we're helping our entire community. So being really thoughtful about that, but also not just one and done, but really continuing to think about it.
Love that. And said so succinctly. So in times of backlash or political polarization, what gives you hope? And I think this is really important. What do you see as the most effective ways for community resilience? How can people outside legal or policy spheres support or amplify those efforts, like regular folk?
Absolutely. There is so much that people can do, and I see so much hope. The news that we see often amplifies a perspective that isn't a majority, and that is intentional, and it keeps us feeling like there's nothing we can do. But we have to remember that in civil rights, it often looks like this, that we're losing until we win. We feel there's so much happening until we're able to do something. And part of our responsibility is we are the folks that are saying, hey, this isn't something okay. We are explaining to people, sometimes people for the very first time. And so I've been so incredibly inspired by people that are speaking out when it's really, really hard to do. That kind of bravery is incredibly inspiring. But I also think it's important for people to get out and vote too. I think we're starting to think about that right now, but people are thinking about who they want to represent them, to vote with your whole chest and support candidates that support you and support your values. This is an incredibly powerful tool that we have at our disposal. And I know that this is a very personal decision. There are people that are not excited about national elections or not excited about the top of a ticket. But we have to remember, too, that local elections hold so much power. And these are often decided by, 100 votes, a couple hundred votes, sometimes a handful of votes. These are things that we can make a difference with in our community, in our on our social media pages. These are ways that we're actually able to make an enormous difference. So your advocacy here can really change the way that things happen. And so at this, when we look at a local level, we're able to make a lot of change, where at a national level, things are often so polarized that we are talking about party lines. But at local levels, we're talking about what's happening in our neighborhoods. We are talking about what is keeping kids in school safe. We're talking about making resources more accessible to the people that we actually know around us. There's so much that can be done at that level. And I think about this because, I mentioned earlier the Don't Say Gay or Trans laws that we talked about a couple of years ago. And, the Florida case was one of NCLR's cases. And I remember thinking about that. We got this historic settlement that provides protections for students and for teachers. It was a really great settlement. But, I remember during that time thinking a lot, what if our advocacy before this was, thinking about who's on school boards, who is making policy about our curriculum, who's on the library boards, who's deciding what types of books are banned and what's allowed. What if we were using that sort of advocacy and then having strategic litigation when there was nothing else, so that we only have to fight when we have to fight, and using some different strategies there. So I think there's a lot of things that people can do, but that is definitely my favorite one.
I love that. And I want to hear more about that, which I think will ultimately lead to a bigger interview, because I think that is fascinating and inspiring in that we can do something. So we're not just, watching and seeing if, but on a community level, we could do something, which can then be amplified or executed on a national level. So paying close attention to that. I think we only have room for one more. And you kind of answered the other question. So I'm going to jump to the last one, just so we can leave on a fun note. So if queer justice was a soundtrack, what song would you want playing as people march forward, and maybe one that always lifts you when you need a boost?
I love that question. I think I would I think I would first go to like lyrics, but honestly, I think this would be a question about vibes. And I'm a huge WNBA fan, and our local team is the Golden State Valkyries. Love to the Valkyries. But in basketball, there's an opportunity for the coaches to have the refs review a play, and in at the Valkyries, when this happens, they play this song called Replay because they're doing a replay. But it changes the complete feel of what the arena is like. The lights go up, they start playing this song, which is just like a really catchy song. It's like a 15-year-old song, but it's really catchy. It seems like there's this burst of air that comes in. But I think about that because when we think about marches, I think we are often reminding ourselves of the people that were brave enough to go in this march and what it took for people to get there. And we absolutely should, because that kind of bravery should be celebrated. But it's also true that people are in these marches because they want the visual representation of what we represent. And there are people that change their minds or are starting to think about things differently because they see that. And it kind of brings people together the way that I think that this song does when these challenges happen. It's also when the wave starts at Valkyries games. And, waves start, it's really fun to watch them start. It's just a few people until it's a lot of people, until it's a whole stadium. And I think that's what our March for Revolution looks like.
I love that. We were just speaking with Dalila Ali Rajah and about joy being a form of rebellion. That seems like a amazing collective way of showing that. I feel like I can talk to you forever. I really, really hope that you can join us. We have so many different things planned and programmed, and I really want NCLR and you very close as we evolve. And truly, just I'm such a big fangirl, I just want more of you.
Thank you so much. Feel the exact same way. So thrilled for you all. Thanks so much for having us.
Yay. Okay. And hopefully to be continued. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yep.
Thank you.
Nicole Conn.
Katherine Linton.
Welcome to Venus. Welcome to our live stream.
Congratulations on your
so
launch.
Good to see you. Well, thank you for the congratulations on our launch. And I am at Stonewall with lots of fun people here.
Awesome.
That is where I am. And so if you hear some talking and some clinking and all that, I'm at Stonewall.
Good.
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo. Laugh it up. See, the party has already begun here. Oh my God. So Nicole Conn, I'm going to introduce you, is a groundbreaking filmmaker and storyteller whose work has profoundly shaped queer cinema. She first made waves with Clara the Moon, a cult classic that remains beloved decades later. Since then, she has written and directed powerful films like Elena Undone, A Perfect Ending, Little Man, More Beautiful for Having Been Broken, and Coming Out for Love. In 2025, after a quarter-century journey, Nicole released Descending Thirds, a sweeping epic romance published on March 15th. Later this fall, she'll be bringing us Blue Love Dance, a cine romance, which I think we're going to see a little clip of.
Yep.
Nicole's stories don't just depict queer love. They dive into its complexities, its beauty, and its capacity to heal. It's an honor to have you as a Venus member and here with us today, Nicole. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And again, congratulations. Anything Shirin's involved with, I'm totally excited about.
What am I, chopped liver?
It's just that I have watched it and watched Shirin be like the most energetic, inspired entrepreneur ever. So it's like I'm a huge fangirl of hers.
She is a force, and OML
as you are.
No, seriously, no. Shirin is a force, and OML and starting that in 2009, I believe. Yeah, she's a force. So I know that you guys have worked together for a long, long time.
Yeah, since back then.
Yeah. I mean, Clara the Moon, all of your films have become landmarks for lesbian storytelling. What motivates you to keep telling these stories?
I absolutely love what I do. I am so impassioned by what I do. I'm committed and dedicated. I've been working on Blue Love Dance, a cine romance for the last 5 years, and I've had so many crashes and breakdowns. And my daughter was saying, I can't believe how you are sticking to this. Even with all the shit you've been through, you are making this happen. And it's because I really do. I'm so blessed to do what I love every minute of the day. So not a lot of people get to say that. And I also live off the responses to the film from women all over the world who use many of my films for healing. And that makes me feel really, really gratified.
How has your perspective on lesbian romance and community like evolved over the years? I mean,
well, when I began, there were only a couple of us, and the prevailing sort of thought was there was only room for a couple of us because the scarcity issues in our community were horrific. That's one of the reasons I love Shirin so much. She loves to work with other lesbians, and it's like there's enough to go around for everybody. But it used to be like there's only one lesbian director in Hollywood right now. I think we've had our 15 minutes of fame for the last 30 years. And in a lot of ways, it's been really wonderful because we're oftentimes token representation on pretty much every show. There's a gay friend, a lesbian sister, but we've lost our community around film. Our festivals have, gone out of how could Outfest in Los Angeles go out of business? It's like, because the studios have taken over our independent lesbian film fair. So it's really changed from that dramatic way. The benefit though is the internet has allowed my films to be seen by millions the world over. So I'm very, very thrilled from that aspect. It's also leveled the playing field and made it very, very difficult to make an actual living doing what I do. You can't, this is all passion project pretty much. I subsist.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you about some of the challenges now for filmmakers.
It's pretty harsh right now especially for micro indie filmmakers. There's no money. The last 3-4 projects I had were all either donated or, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, that sort of thing. That's how I've been able to continue because so many people have contributed financially and with other sort of resources in kind so that I can get my films made.
I'm curious, of all the films you made, I mean, I guess, is there one sort of love story tell me a story behind one of your films? It's just a love story for you.
Well, Elena Undone is completely based on my relationship with Marina Rice Bader, who was my film and life partner for 5 or 6 years. We did Elena Undone and A Perfect Ending together. I didn't even have to write that script. I used a lot of the words that we said to each other. She was really just a totally stunned straight woman who fell in love with another woman and just couldn't, understand it and deal with it. And she did. She left her husband and, I came into 4 stepchildren that I love and as my own. And it was wonderful from all of those many aspects. But we had a blast doing Elena Undone and A Perfect Ending. A Perfect Ending is one of my favorite sets because Jessica Clarke is the funniest person on the planet. I felt the same way on Coming Out for Love. She's just the most remarkable. I absolutely love her.
And your films have been seen all over the world, right?
Yes.
That's amazing, right? Have you ever gotten any backlash? Like that's incredible.
Yes. I have huge fan bases in Germany and Brazil, Spanish-speaking countries for whatever reason. And then, of course, the UK, Australia, that sort of thing. But yeah, I get texts and emails and, DMs from people in Japan, in places where you can't be a lesbian anywhere, just really, really, far out countries that I've never even heard of before. So that is the power of the internet. And that is a gift to us sort of micro indie filmmakers.
So what do you hope younger filmmakers and storytellers take away from your work? Like what kind of inspiration?
I'm shocked always that Clear of the Moon is the gift that keeps on giving. College students will contact me, and I feel like it's the clunkiest of my films outside of Sonara, which is my least favorite of my films, only because we made it for $14,000. I've probably netted several $100,000 off of that film, but it was done over like a week, and it was just, we were just trying to make something that was called Romantica, and a lot of people love it, but it's like one of those things like, I'm sorry I made that. That's the only project I have like that.
But it's interesting because there was nothing. I mean,
Yes, that's why I was able to do things like that. Plus, you know, I forged a partnership and relationship with Kathy Wolf from Wolf Video, and you know, she's been carrying all my films ever since. So, you know, we kind of grew up together.
And we do want to see a clip, and I want you to sort of walk us into it of Blue Love Dance, a Sin of Romance. Tell me about
literally
that.
a snippet.
Literally a snippet. But so give us some context.
Well, it's the making of my favorite sequence that I've ever done in my 34 career. It's the love dance sequence in More Beautiful for Having Been Broken, which many people super responded to. But getting it made, I went through 18 producers, most of whom didn't want to do any of the dance sequences in the movie. It was one of those things where I was just so damn determined, and it shows how I went about it. But it also was a story of what I went through while making the film, which was my sister committed suicide. My brother was shot 8 times in the chest. My father died. It was like one thing after another. And that's why the film went from Nesting Doll to becoming More Beautiful for Having Been Broken, because my life broke me, life circumstances broke me, and More Beautiful healed me. It was one of the most healing films. I say in there, it's the only film I've sat in a premiere, because I usually go out because I want to throw up during the entire, you know, first premiere that I have, and almost every other premiere as well. It's the first film I actually sat in, and I cried, and I just felt so healed by that process. And Blue Love Dance is that story. And it's also sort of an update on Nicholas, because More Beautiful was very much based on my son, my relationship of my son to the world. And and my daughter Gabrielle is in it because she was a theater brat, and this was her first film role, and she's wonderful in it. And so it's a really family affair. So there's a lot of information about how the film came in and how they are intricately entwined into the Blue Love Dance making of.
All right, Stephen, I think we need to cue the clip.
I forgot the most important part. That's Kayla Radomski, one of the leads. She plays the mother of Freddie, the special needs son in the film. And she used to be on So You Think You Can Dance, and that piece is in there too, because my family, as soon as my family was ready, we did So You Think You Can Dance every week religiously. And one of our favorite dancers was Kayla Radomski from season 5. She did the piece Addiction. And she came in an interview, auditioned 2 years before we were going to shoot. And I didn't think she had the chops yet. So I asked her if she would be the choreographer for the dance. And then, you know, destruction happened. And so the film was moved 2.5 years. And when she came in to read the second time, I was so blown away at her growth as an actress, but I shouldn't have been, because her dedication and her work ethic is phenomenal as a dancer. She's just nonstop. She knew everybody's lines. She's just the most prepared actor I think I've ever worked with. And I loved having her in it because she was such a part of our family's, you know, whole thing with So You Think You Can Dance. It was pretty wonderful from that standpoint.
So I mean, what you don't slow down. You don't slow down.
I did Blue Love Dance as a sort of anti-Parkinson's campaign, because I'm going through end stages Parkinson's with my mother, and I'm trying everything I can to not have any brain rot. So I challenged myself to make all the special effects in the film, and there's a ton of them, and I was able to do that. So yeah, I don't, but it's also because I love what I do. I'm so blessed. I love what I do so much.
And do you have another film in the works that you're just needling with right now?
No, I mean, we had a film that we actually had cast with a fairly, I can't tell you who it was, with a fairly high-end actress called Do We Not Grieve? But with the crash in the industry, our funders pulled out. That is a film I'm still trying to get made. And as you said, I had just published Ascending Thirds, which is a straight, sweeping, romantic, epic, tale. I'm just finishing the audiobook right now for that. And and the audiobook is being produced by Mary Jane Wells, who is a hugely renowned and award-winning narrator of fiction, which I didn't even know for years. And so it was wonderful when, because I've worked with her on 3 or 4 projects, and I just love working with her so much. And she brought so much to the book. Her narration is just phenomenal. I just love every bit of it. So I hope some lesbians will listen to it just for that fact alone.
Last question. You are a member of Venus.
Yes.
What's the most important thing about community to you? I mean, that's what we're trying to build on Venus. You know, the power of bringing lesbian, queer, bisexual women together.
I think it's very, very important. It's like I said in the beginning, when I started out, community was a huge part. I would go to play with Claire the Moon, coffee houses, bookstores, back in the day when they had bookstores, when I did the novelization and a couple of other lesbian novels. We always had the community supporting all the projects because that's where we gathered. Now we're all over the place. We're integrated all over the place, and we've lost that community. So Venus is critical to finding that place again where we're all in it together and we get all excited about everything. And it's not, we're spread out all over the nation and there's no connectivity. Like I said, so many of our festivals are gone. That's where women met. Our bookstores all of it's gone. So the way that we have to connect is through these sorts of organizations, which I'm so thrilled that you guys have done and put together. It's really awesome. And again, congratulations on your launch. It's always a huge undertaking. And I think Shirin's gathered a really great team around her with you, Katherine and Kimberly and all the rest of yous.
Oh, we thank you. Coming from you, Nicole, that means so much. I can't tell you. You are a legend. You are an icon. You have done so much for our community. So thank you. We're so honored you were here today. So thank you.
I'm honored to be here. So,
thank
okay,
you.
lots of love. Mwah.
Ciao.
Kate is in the house. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Sharon.
So Kate needs no introduction, but we are giving you a little intro for everyone. So I will intro Kate. Kate Kendall is a trailblazing civil rights lawyer and an advocate who served for over 2 decades as executive director of the National Center for Lesbian Rights, NCLR, which I love, and where she played a pivotal role in winning marriage equality, non-discrimination protection, transgender rights, and much more. Most recently, she served as chief of staff at the California Endowment before being appointed CEO of the Gill Foundation, a leading LGBTQ philanthropic organization starting in May 2025, just this year. Her leadership arrives at a moment when she sees both breathtaking gains and a ferocious backlash in our movement. With that, welcome.
Thank you, Shirin. I'm so happy to be here. It's so great to see you. I'm so excited for what you're doing.
Yay. So I can listen to you forever. Seriously, I'm a fangirl as well as a friend. But we have a short amount of time to go through. I have 5 questions for you, just to get a little taste of you if people have been under a rock or something. Okay, so first question. You've described our current moment as one with breathtaking gains and a ferocious backlash. In your view, what are the most urgent challenges facing queer women and the broader LGBT community today? And what's keeping you hopeful as you step into your new role at Gill?
Well, I appreciate the question so much. And actually, what I am most concerned about, and what I feel is puts us such in a state of peril, doesn't just affect queer women and the LGBT community. We are in an environment where every community that we care about and that deserves protection is under attack. You can see it in LA, you can see it in DC, you can see it with threats against Chicago, with threats against New York. We are very near to living in a police state in many places in this country, and the very, very foundation of democracy is under attack. So it is important more than ever that we as an entire LGBTQ community and everyone else who is an ally of democracy and an ally of humanity and an ally of decency and an ally of common care, that's the community that we need to bring together in order to push back what we're seeing and come out the other side. We will come out the other side one way or the other. The issue is how many people are going to get hurt in the meantime. And if we all come together, those of us who understand and care about decency and humanity and democracy and a civil society, will come out that other side sooner rather than later.
Okay. And if we have time, I'm going to ask you what is keeping you hopeful. We're going to move to the next question. You've navigated the movement's legal front as NCLR's leader and now move into philanthropic leadership at Gill. How does this shift from litigation to strategic grant making shape how we can protect and expand our rights right now?
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll fold in what keeps me hopeful to this
because
answer
you're
right
brilliant
here.
that way.
So there
of
you go.
course you
So there
will.
you go. So what keeps me hopeful is that I'm not alone in my view of what's necessary for us to all come together and the importance of that. Thousands and thousands of people are out in the streets standing up for what they believe in and what they care about in our democracy and in our country and recognizing our common humanity. That is what keeps me hopeful. And what keeps me hopeful is I came from advocacy with the National Center for now LGBTQ rights. And now to see the gains that we made because we were supported by organizations like the Gill Foundation. And now I'm at the Gill Foundation supporting organizations that are on the front line of doing the very important work of shoring up and saving democracy and also protecting the most vulnerable in our communities. What makes me hopeful is we have a history of understanding. We've had multiple times in our movement where we've been under attack. We have multiple times as a nation where we've had populations that have been under attack, where our promise of equality for all, where we've fallen far, far short of that, and yet we still keep trying to always have the North Star be that equality. We haven't lost that. That's our muscle memory. And we bring that to bear as we fight this current fight, and knowing that we're all in it together, that's what keeps me hopeful.
And this is why you need to run for president. So, okay, everyday action. What can we do? For everyday queer women, those balancing work, family, and community, what kind of actions, no matter how small, do you think can make the greatest difference right now?
Like everyone else, there are mornings where I wake up and I look at the headlines and I want to just crawl back into bed and go, curl up in the fetal position. It's hard to feel hopeful. It's hard to feel as if we can make any difference against such a ferocious and vicious onslaught. So the way I think about it is I can't do everything about everything, but I can do something about something. So what I would encourage people to do is if you have financial resources, give those to organizations whose leadership you respect, who are on the front lines fighting the fight. If you have time, any kind of time, volunteer at organizations that are trying to fill the gap for those who are most vulnerable. If you have expertise, offer that to organizations that you respect who are doing work where you have a little bit of expertise to offer. And sometimes it's just as simple as throughout the day, you're walking down the sidewalk and you pass somebody and you like their shoes, instead of just keeping that thought to yourself, you say, I like your shoes. And I'll tell you what, you're going to get a smile back, and that person's going to say, well, thank you. Just common decency and consideration and kindness, acts of kindness build on themselves. So if you can do big things, do big things. If you can do small things, do small things. Everybody can do something about something.
I love that. The whole idea of kindness, like a revolution of kindness, is, it's so at home, because I hear it and I see it now within the community, within the LGBT community, but also where I live. And it hits differently these days.
Oh, it does. Because look, in this current climate, kindness is a revolutionary act. So be a rebel, be kind.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Your work has long woven intersectional advocacy from undocumented immigrants to incarcerated individuals, transgender rights, youth, and elders. How can queer women build stronger solidarity across these lines in their daily lives?
Even on the worst day of some of the terror coming out of this administration, I know that I am not going to have ICE showing up at my doorstep. I'm not going to have the National Guard roust me on a sidewalk. I'm going to be able to walk into a restaurant and be able to use the facilities consistent with my gender identity, and no one is going to hassle me. I want everyone who has that same kind of privilege, or some piece of it, to deploy that privilege for those that don't feel safe walking down the sidewalk or driving in their car or walking into a public restroom. Deploying our privilege means standing up. It means not being a bystander. It means weighing in. It means making your voice heard. It means just understanding our privilege creates a responsibility that we do sometimes even more to stand in the gap, and essentially act and say, you're not getting to them, those who are most vulnerable, without coming through me, however that looks. That is what I think this moment demands. And, queer women are fierce. We are tested. We are, in some ways, battle ready because of what we had to go through just to emerge as our full selves. Let's bring some of that fight to this moment right now.
Have you seen that the challenge on social with all the specifically cis white women who are buying Mexican flags for their...
Yes, and putting them on their car. Yeah, I have. Even like something like that. Look, some people could argue, oh, that's just performative. But you know what? I wouldn't say only do that. But if that means that, my car is going to get pulled over in Oxnard rather than a car driven by someone who now can be racially profiled because the Supreme Court said they can, then you know what? Do that, but then and keep thinking about all the other things you can do that are putting some sand in the gears of the worst that this administration is trying to get away with.
Yeah, all the things. Okay, so last question, a touch of levity. For a fun wrap up, if equality were an actual superhero, what would its name be? And what would its signature superpower be?
It would be So the name would be, this is really not suitable for work, but it's the only one I could think of. The name would be Fuck a Lot Around and Find Out. And the superpower would be just through a glance, patriarchal, misogynistic, racist assholes wither in the corner just by her looking at them.
Oh my God. So I love that. And you have to, I don't know if you remember Lizzie Gillespie, but we're going to end a virtual session with her. She is now in 3D and more disruptive and inappropriate than ever. So do make
So
sure
I'm in
you
good
watch
company. I'm in good company. Okay, good.
I love that though. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking a minute to speak with us. Thank you for supporting Venus, and just thank you for being in this world and being who you are. Really, I love you on so many different levels. So thank you. Thank you for existing.
Thank you, Shirin. I love what you're doing. I love that you're in my life. I'm excited that our paths are crossing again, and I can't wait to see what happens with this. You can always call on me. Please do.
Thank you.
Take care.
Welcome, Alex Verenova. I am Katherine Linton. I know you know Shirin very, very well.
Yes, I do.
You do. It is so, what an honor to meet you.
Nice to
She's
meet
told
you
me a
as
lot
well.
about you. She has told me a lot about you. I'm going to start my timer here so I don't go over on our interview.
Where are you right now?
Oh, I'm at Stonewall. I'm at
Oh,
the
yeah.
Stonewall Inn in New York City, and I know it's the afternoon, but there is a party already happening here, and has been going on for quite some time. And so if it's a little loud, I apologize, but the people are here. The queers are in the house, is what's happening.
Amazing.
Stonewall
Okay.
Inn. Yes.
That's great.
Alex, I want to introduce you because you're incredible. Alex Verenova is a filmmaker who first expressed herself through painting and found her cinematic voice in telling stories that are bold, intimate, and visually rich. A USC Film School alum, now based in Los Angeles, she began her creative journey in theater before moving into award-winning short films, episodics, and even a Netflix special. Her debut feature, Satisfaction, shot in Greece and London and nearly 10 years in the making, premiered at South by Southwest. Alex's work weaves together themes of gender identity and female empowerment. Whoop, whoop. All through striking visuals and emotionally powerful storytelling. It is my pleasure to welcome Alex here to Venus today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thanks so much. Thank you. I am very happy to be here.
It's so great to hear. Your films explore identity and empowerment. How do you see media creating connection and community for queer women at this moment?
I mean, I think in today's world of separation and kind of a loneliness pandemic, it's imperative for women to have a space where we can all come together and connect, because we like to connect, we like to bring communities together, and there hasn't really been a community like this before that has that serves as a platform for that. And I think, you know, we're designed this way. This is doctor prescribed, you know.
If you could inspire one action through your storytelling, what would it be for queer audiences today?
Oh my God, this question is so hard. So, you know, Satisfaction is a queer film where every character is queer. So as a storyteller, I wanted to set the film in my kind of world where everyone is queer, even like the fishermen, everyone. And so one action, I mean, it's something that I would inspire everyone to do, not necessarily just the queer women. It's to listen and to open up your mind and to be there for each other. I think, especially in our divisive, hard times of a world being completely on fire, what we can do is hold space for each other and listen and kind of be there for each other. And, you know, that's kind of like what the main characters in the film are doing for each other. And, you know, that empowerment, that self-empowerment we'll need, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in a community. It happens with someone having you back and feeling a sense of security and feeling roots, feeling, you know, that you have a safety net, a network of people who have your back. And that allows you to take risks creatively, personally, you know. So listen and hold space with each other.
I want to show, we're going to show a clip of, I think, the trailer of Satisfaction.
Teaser, and it actually just dropped today. So it just premiered for the first time. This is the very first look of any shots from the film. We had like one official still available up until today. And now we just like dropped the whole teaser. So that's what it is.
Before we show it, can you tell us a little bit about Satisfaction?
Yes. Satisfaction is a psychological drama about two British composers who go to a Greek island off season. And we can tell that they are not talking about something. There's a topic that they're kind of dancing around. And when one of them, Lola, meets a mysterious woman on a nudist beach and brings her into the fold, tensions start to escalate, and Lola has to face her pain from the past.
Okay.
Your eyes lit up. You're like, all right, let's go.
Gotta see it.
What is
So Stephen, cue Satisfaction.
Okay.
Oh my God. See, we all watch it here on the TV screens here at Stonewall.
Oh, really? You did?
Yeah. Like the whole bar just watched that.
Okay. Hello, bar.
Hello, bar. That it's stunning, Alex.
Thank you.
I mean, really, really stunning. How long did that take? 10 years in the making?
Yes, it took 10 years to make, and we shot it on the Greek island of Antiparos. And, you know, my cinematographer was the first person I brought aboard, and we developed these visuals together over a course of 3 years before we even rolled cameras.
Wow, that is amazing. Can I ask you a question? What got you into filmmaking? And did you face any challenges as a queer woman in the industry coming up? I'm just curious a little bit about your backstory.
Well, I mean, I kind of announced to the world when I was 4 years old, I want to make movies. And I never changed my mind. So my parents just assumed like that's what I'm going to do. So I've been on this path forever, and I went to film school, and I kind of did like the standard steps to filmmaking. So there's not like a very interesting story there. I just, my parents were like, how did you learn the word? How do you know the word director? And we never found out where I got it from. But that's how I get into filmmaking. I kind of always knew that I'm going to do that. Challenges as a queer woman. This film, I had so many meetings and so many people tell me it's too queer. I need to tone down the lesbian storylines. Like it needs to be more palatable to all to all audiences. The amount of conversations like that I've had, I cannot even tell you, in the dozens, more than 12, more than 20. So, it's that. It's basically, yes, there is an interesting story there. And yeah, it could work as a less queer-centric story, but that's not who I am. That's not what I want. Why would I compromise like that? And, I want to tell my story as a queer woman. And it's a very personal film based on my story. And so there are a lot of kind of like executives who are straight who are giving me notes on like how to present queerness. I've had a lot of those. I've had a lot of like, yeah, it's been fun.
And did you tell them, I think I know what I'm doing? I think I know what I'm talking about?
Not in so many words, yes. Just in the 2 words or something.
Okay. Should I ask you to say those 2 words or?
No, thank you, or just thank you. What did you think?
Thank you for your input. And no, thank you. Yeah. So are there other filmmakers that really inspire you? I'm curious, like, where do you pull your inspirations from?
Oh my God, your questions. I grew up in Eastern Europe, so I love Eastern European cinema. I love Tarkovsky. Ingmar Bergman is a huge influence. And then growing up in Eastern Europe, there was a lot of Korean cinema. So Park Chan-wook, Kim Ki-duk, Takeshi Kitano from Japan. So weirdly enough, my influences are from that part of the world. But then I moved here to the United States when I was 16, and I started watching kind of like American indie filmmakers, New Yorkers who were like doing the down and dirty indie cinema with their own hands and like a camera. Jim Jarmusch, Spike Lee, and I was like, oh, you can do that? That's really cool. And they would like do their own editing and their own score, and like I like that approach as well. But I don't have one filmmaker or a couple that I'm like really looking to. I mean, even with this film, I didn't use any films as a reference for imagery or for themes because I wanted it to come from me. It's such a personal story that I wanted it to come fully from within. And so when I was showing the references to my cinematographer, I didn't show him any films. I showed him my watercolors. I was like this.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful,
so much.
beautiful, beautiful. What do you think is missing in lesbian Hollywood?
Oh my God, where do I start? I know we don't have a lot of time, but exactly this. What's missing is a sense of community, a place to gather, interesting events, a place where you can just like ping somebody and ask advice, or a place where you like, hey, do you know so-and-so? I would love an introduction, or a place where somebody can come to me and be like, hey, can you mentor me? Somebody who's just getting into film school or whatever it is. I think it's sense of community.
Community is the thing. So, obviously that's what we're trying to do here on Venus. That is what we're trying to do.
Yes,
so,
amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing that.
Cool. And Alex, I cannot thank you enough for is there anything else you want to share with us? Because, you know, any other projects you're working on, anything? I mean, this is coming out, right? Satisfaction, where can we see it?
So we're looking for a home for it, for a distributor who knows how to find young female audiences and young queer audiences and any queer audiences, in fact. So spread the word, share the teaser if you can, you know, that's all I can ask for. And I hope you like it when you see it, and hopefully in theaters.
You heard it here first. Spread it, spread that teaser. It's called Satisfaction. Filmmaker Alex Verenova, and that means set it to go viral. So so that
I like it.
All the eyeballs we can get. So Alex, thank you so much for today. And I'm so happy to meet you again. Shirin has said so many great things about you, and we'll see you on Venus.
Thank you so much. I'll see you there.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Alex. Bye.
Hello.
I'm muted. Hello,
Okay.
hello.
Now, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
I think I know you.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Well, we have thank you so much for joining us. We have a short amount of time. Did you just see Alex?
Yes, I saw the end of the interview. That was fun.
Did you actually
Night.
have you seen her film yet?
Yes, I saw it. Yeah.
Oh, you're lucky. Yeah, we're gonna we just streamed a little bit of it, the teaser, and then we're gonna hopefully premiere the teaser on OML as well.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
But over onto you. I'm going to give a quick intro, and then we're going to jump into it because we just have 15 minutes.
Mhm.
So Sonia Sebastian is an award-winning Spanish director based in Los Angeles, whose work spans theater, television, and film. Known for her sharp humor and focus on diverse, dynamic characters, she's directed acclaimed features, including The Kiss List, Virgin of Highland Park, and Freelancers Anonymous, as well as her debut, her debut film, The Chica and Chica. I should know this since I was quite involved. Her projects have screened on HBO Max, Tubi, Pluto TV, and Amazon Prime. And she has helmed commercials for Netflix, Disney, and Google. Sonia is a mentee of Ryan Murphy's HALF Initiative and has served as a juror for the International Emmy Awards. I've had the pleasure of knowing Sonia for many years and consider her not only a brilliant creative, but a close friend. So welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We are going to dive into the first question. You've worked across film, TV, web series, and commercials, pretty much have done everything. How does your approach change depending on the medium, especially when portraying queer characters?
Well, for example, in commercials, I never portray queer characters, you know.
But soon.
But soon, hopefully, right?
Yes.
But yes, I think in film, when it's an independent film, always when it's a studio film like The Kiss List, that they just called me with the script and I was hired as director. It's easier, right? Because independent films let you do what you want to do from your heart, because you have a little more control. With the studio film, for example, The Kiss List, there was a little more debate, you know, because it was not my script, and also I was hired, and it's a studio, and they want the things in the way that they want it. But yes, I think at the end it's just film from your heart, and try to that no one can change that voice, you know, and the voice of the queer characters. that is sometimes is what executives want to do. And yeah, and in web series, it's a little bit like independent film. You have more control because it's your project. So that's that's easy. The problem with TV is when you just go to try to sell a queer project, and then it's like, oh, why they have to be queer? Can be they're straight. Yeah. So now that's kind of when the problem comes. And yeah.
So how do you think that the film industry is doing? I should say the mainstream film industry is doing with queer representation right now?
Well, I mean, the movies that I have seen, they're doing a good job. The problem is that in the last year, I'm seeing less and less and less. And we have like a moment, like, I don't know, like 3 years ago, that there was like more queer characters. And right now, I think we are moving to a lack of those queer characters in mainstream. And it's more difficult right now to tell those stories, and that come from conversation with other queer filmmakers, and we are seeing that. But I think that, I mean, depends of the films, right? But I think representation is pretty okay when they let queer filmmakers be the writers or be the directors. No? I have like one thing in one TV show that I was shadowing, that there was a queer character, and I was like, wow, this character wouldn't talk like that, wouldn't do that. I mean, no, he's a gay guy. No, he wouldn't say that. But yeah, you can do anything. You don't have any problem power in TV. So, but I mean, it's like here and there. You know, it depends if the writer is queer or is like very familiar with queer because it's an ally. I think that works really well when they give the project to a straight dude who has no, any relationship with that. It's a problem.
And do you see quite a bit of that, or?
I think, I mean, I think it was more in the past, but sometimes in TV, sometimes in TV. I wouldn't give you any example just because one of the samples I was shadowing, so I can say which was, but yes, here and there you can see that.
A big part of Venus is community. I mean, that's who we are. How do you see your work connecting or inspiring other queer women?
How do I see it? Well, I think the most important is to have a platform where people can see it, right? And have the marketing to really advertise that work. For example, we did the Kiss List, and it was done for Fox and Mar Vista Entertainment, and it was sold to HBO Max in Latin, in Latin America, and that was great. But here in the United States, we couldn't, and it's now in Tubi. We didn't have like any advertisement, and I don't know how many people could see it because we didn't have that publicity. So yeah, I think we can aspire in the moment that we have platforms and we have the marketing for people to be able to watch this projects, this film.
What do you see? I'm going slightly off script, but curious. What do you see as like the next wave of queer cinema?
I think it's going to be very, very, very independent and made with very, very, very little money. I think that I have the feeling, and hopefully I'm wrong, but I have the feeling that at least here in the United States, it's going to be a pause in those projects. I don't want to be like very depriment, but yes, I think it's. I think we are going to have to do what we did at the beginning. I'm making films for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years, right? And we're going to have to go back to that, to do our own films, to raise the money the way that we can, and just try to push for that. So yeah, I'm a little worried about that, but I mean, I don't know. I think if we create community, we help each other. If filmmakers, queer filmmakers get together, I think if we do those kind of things, I think we can have our projects, on air and funding. But yeah, I don't know how much risk are gonna take the streamers right now. I'm not sure about that. For what I'm hearing,
So what is, I mean, you are in LA, Hollywood Central. What's the kind of the vibe of right now with specifically, well, with filmmakers overall, but specifically queer filmmakers?
Well, everything is a little bit slow in the last 2 years. So right now, I think that is not only queer filmmakers. I think right now it's like everything is very, very slow. It's taking years to shoot a project and to get funding, unless that you do like this kind of like Hallmark movies and those things. They are producing those things cheap for TV. But yeah, it's a little bit slow right now. I have 2 projects that I'm waiting for them to happen for the last year and a half, and still no news. And for example, in Mexico, I have a project that seems that it's gonna go, and it's faster, Mexico. So yeah, so it's very slow here. I feel the city a little bit like, a little bit down. So, and we are kind of like wait to when everything is gonna race again.
Yeah. San Francisco is kind of going through that as well.
Yeah.
I think a shift is happening. Yeah. Where it's just been kind of a lull. Okay. So with the KISS list, the Virgin of Highland Park, and Freelancers Anonymous, you tackled coming of age stories, comedy, and character-driven drama. How do you decide which story to tell next?
I think it's more like intuition, Or if it comes from me, it comes from an idea, and I have like this intuition and this idea that I think there's a story here that I want to explore, that is probably hiding inside of me, and I want to kind of like let it go. So that's basically my approach. Sometimes it's just working with someone and collaborating with someone, and then we, like that community creates the story and creates the kind of like the plot or the actors that we want to work with. So yeah, it will be like from the inside and from the outside. I would say it depends. I think depends on the project. Yeah,
that's a great answer. Okay, so this is more of like the kicker question. So if you were to date one of your characters from any of your productions, whether it be film, TV, well, I don't think commercial would work, but theater, who would it be? Which character and why?
I think it will be one character from the Chicken Chica in the beginning. She was kind of like the editor of the comic. I think it's a strong woman, and yeah, I think it will be attractive, strong woman with independent, that doesn't need anybody to keep going. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I hope we see more of you. As you know, we're doing a film director series on Venus, but we'd love to keep you close as we are doing so many different programming and have many, many plans, and we'd love to keep you close. So in closing, what will we expect from Sonia Sebastian next?
I have a feature film that I'm trying to not to shoot it because I changed it so many times and I'm still rewriting it. But yeah, it's a story that I'm working for like 5 years. It has a queer character as well, and it talks about mental health and queerness, and it's those two characters who just it's a road movie, road movie with a little bit of comedy and a little bit of dramedy, let's say dramedy. And so yeah, so hopefully that will be the next one. But maybe I have a thriller because I'm going to shoot a thriller at the end of the year. So, but that just depends. without queer characters, but.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for the conversation, and please do stay very close to Venus, and yeah, love to have a more substantial conversation through the Film Director Series. But really appreciate you joining us. Any last words?
Oh, no, thank you so much. And I think this is amazing, that you guys put together this community again, that I think we need it.
Very much so, very much so. So please spread the good word among the filmerati, the TV-rati, whoever the lesbians are, and about Venus, and please do stay very, very close.
Okay, bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you. All right. Take care.
Haley, oh, my hair got crazy again in between takes. You know me, Haley. You know me. You know me.
How are you?
Oh, it's so good to see you, Haley. One of my favorite influencers. It is so great to see you again. Haley and I we go way back, right, Haley?
We go way back to like a few months ago, but it's felt like longer than that for sure.
Right.
Are you in Stonewall?
I am in the Stonewall right now. I am in the Stonewall Inn right now. That is why you hear in the party behind me. So we need to have you here. Haley, are you frozen? Uh-oh. Haley, you froze. Or you're in shock because I'm in the Stonewall. Yeah, you're frozen. So I'm going to read Haley's intro while we get Haley back. There you are. Oh my God, smiley Haley. Woo.
Am I back?
Yeah, you are back. I thought you were.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
This is the beautiful thing about being live, Haley. I'm going to do your intro. Haley Olrich is a 27-year-old sapphic podcaster and content creator who has built a vibrant online community with her unapologetic, gasp-worthy takes on pop culture. That energy gave rise to her hit show Gasp the Pod for the gays, the girls, and especially the gay girls, where she dives into sapphic-leaning cultural topics with humor, boldness, and plenty of spice. Based in Washington, D.C., Haley continues to grow her platform, connecting queer audiences everywhere with content that is as fearless as it is fun. We are thrilled to welcome her to Venus, and Haley is a member of Venus, and we are so happy to have you here, Haley.
Yay! Wow, thank you so much. That was so nice. I'm sorry I went dark for a little bit.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
That was so scary.
You can just say that you were so shocked that you're so happy to see me. So, Haley, what inspired you to start Gasp the Pod and build a community around sapphic culture?
Yeah, well, honestly, I think there's so much good that can come out of social media. I know we see so much bad all the time, but what I witnessed in 2020 was that there was like so many more people discovering their sexuality kind of all at the same time, because I feel like there was a lot of self-exploration that was happening in 2020. I came out years before that, but that was when I think I started finding communities online. And I felt like there was such a need for a sapphic point of view of pop culture events, and just things that are going on in general, I feel like there was like that was missing for me. And so I started making queer content and building a community online. And what I found was that there was a lot of people that didn't have anyone else that they could relate with in their own physical communities, which is another great reason why Venus is so important. And I'm so excited that it's launching. But yeah, like I really feel like there's an absence of sapphic community, and it's just sometimes hard to find people in your own neighborhood and town. So that's what I really love about, there's positive aspects of the internet. And yeah, I just found so much joy in it. And I think a lot of people like need positivity, need representation, need humor right now. So yeah.
Tell me about how do you choose topics and what do you hope that your listeners take away from conversations?
Honestly, I split it 50-50 into topics that I think are very under talked about, under researched, and don't really have that point of view that I think a lot of us are coming from. I think a lot of media is very much in a straight lens. And then I think on the other side of things, I like to talk about issues that are hugely popular and then have like a different twist on it. I think like sometimes when we're talking about one issue, it's just one, like this is the story and this is how everyone feels about it. And, sapphics have such a unique perspective on life. Like we just have a unique perspective on gender, on relationships, on the world. And so I really like to, if I have a hot take, I'm like, does anyone else feel this way? And usually other people do.
Things to talk about, like when you get up in the morning, like what do you look for, like because I think that being a content creator, I'm not that. I don't know. I am ancient.
You should be.
I don't. Yeah. So I watch the just how do you choose, like pick and choose, and what is your favorite? What do you glom onto?
So lately, I've been really getting into history, and I think that sometimes like we straight wash history looking back on it. There's the classics that we all talk about it with like Emily Dickinson, and we're like, okay, of course, lesbian, and then everyone else was straight. And so honestly, I think that I like to hear what other people are talking about and then pull from different sources. But specifically, I'm going to do an episode on Elizabeth Taylor. And next week, I'm working on it right now. And Taylor Swift is releasing a song called Elizabeth Taylor. I have no idea what it's going to be about. What do I do know is that Elizabeth Taylor may have inspired 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo and may have had romantic relationships with women. And I think that that's really interesting and like an undiscovered and an unexplored part of her life that may have just been straight washed. So I like to pull from, I don't know, we're all talking about Taylor Swift, but maybe we should talk about Elizabeth Taylor as well. You know what I mean? So that's kind of an example.
And how do you do your research?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, it's hard because sometimes these topics don't have real written down history. I did an episode on queer flags, and sometimes like there's 2 books and then everything else, it's just kind of like hearsay. So it's a lot of actual work trying to like get a lot of these random sources, and sometimes it's not like credited academic sources because there's a lack of representation in like the history books of lesbians, of sapphics. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of different sources, media, documentaries, probably stuff that you and other guests have done that have like created sources for us to like have information from, because really without any information we would be like nowhere. We just need information. We need books, we need documentation, we need movies, we need representation.
And when you're doing your podcast and when you do TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's you're sort of open. You're kind of an open target too. Like, not only you can get fans, and then you can get not such nice comments. How do you deal with any kind of negative comments or backlash for being so out there?
Yeah, I think sometimes it does get under my skin, but I think honestly, if I wasn't an adult right now, if I hadn't had my brain fully formed, I think that social media would be a lot more dangerous. I think that it's really important if you're making content to, like, I don't know, be at the right age to do it, and, like, be aware that most of these people are, like, behind screens and random people and maybe super homophobic and aren't coming from, like, good intentions. And then I think on the flip side, I recognize that, like, there's not a lot of people being honest about how they feel about things, especially when that opinion is unpopular, and that's going to generate some controversy, even if it's not actually a harmful thing, but it's seen as harmful if it's, like, not the norm. So, I think it's important to, like, especially now when there's such a crackdown on people saying how they really feel, I think it's just important for people to be honest about their opinions, even if it's a hot take, and that means that I think Elizabeth Taylor was gay. You know what I mean? So, I think touching grass and remembering that it's the internet too at the end of the day is important.
And as you know, one of the things that we feel very important about at Venus is that we're safe and that we're private. Given that some of the mainstream social platforms have caved and are allowing for hate speech against LGBTQ people, and rolled back their protections, really, for us, and it's becoming less safe. Just look at the GLAAD Safety Index report of 2025, and I'm curious about your opinion about that.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up. Truthfully, I think Venus could not be coming at a better time right now because and a lot of other creators, a lot of other lesbian or gay creators and queer creators in general, we've talked about this. There's been times where I've been banned or a video has been removed, and it will say in the description of why it's been banned for certain words. And those words will be gay, lesbian, WLW, like not even trying to be like it. It's so outright. I think the idea is that these AI robots are saying that I'm harassing, saying someone's gay in a harmful way, but the over censorship is just really making our community, it's so hard to be your community online. So I think that's why it's so important to have other spaces where there's not this kind of just general censorship without any understanding of like what a community is and like what words we actually use.
Last question. I know these things go quick. For young queer women trying to find community online, what advice would you give?
Honestly, I would say join Venus. I feel like it's like the safest space you could be in. I think it's to find creators that like you feel would make your inner child feel safe and not what makes you feel like, I don't know. I think that a lot of the times, like there's social media that makes us strive to be like the best person or the hottest person or the coolest person. And I think that's not the way we want to take social media. It should be like, who's going to make me feel like it's okay to be me? And I think follow those people, and the people that are making you feel self-conscious, you don't have to follow. So yeah, create a situation that's like healthy for you.
I love you for saying join Venus.
Always.
You don't have to be so. You don't have to act like you're cool. It's a sense of belonging. That's what we're creating. So
exactly
who you are. And we love you, Haley, so much. Thank you. You've been so supportive of Venus. We absolutely adore you. So thank you for being here today. And support Gasp, the pod, and follow Haley online. So thank you, Haley.
Thank you so much, Katherine. I'm so jealous of your setup. I want to be there so badly.
Yeah, you are.
So excited for Venus, and I apologize if there's any background noise. I am at a bachelorette party, but work never stops.
Okay. Ciao. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye. Yay, Wendy Jo.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, hello. Where are you now?
I'm in Chicago.
You're still in Chicago? Okay.
You can probably hear it in my voice. The longer I'm here, it's Chicago.
Chicago. I'm in Chicago. You've been in Chicago for some time.
Well, I've been going back and forth. So after Good Kisser, then there was, as you know, we're not live now, are we?
We are live. So
then I better not swear about the epidemic.
No, you could swear away.
Pandemic.
You can swear away.
So the pandemic happened, friggin' pandemic, and then so my last lesbian feature, Good Kisser, it was the festival world tour. That's the fun part if you're an indie filmmaker, if you can relax and meet people and travel. Got cut off, but you can still watch the movie, but online. But yeah, I think I lived in Chicago and Seattle. I've made movies in both places. Most of the web series Easy Abby that is on OML TV on your YouTube channel was shot in Chicago. So I have lots of connections and friends and wonderful actress and actor crowd here.
Yeah, it's definitely thriving. I know I have a family member, a second cousin who is an actress and thriving in Chicago, both in theater and TV.
Oh.
But let me give you a proper intro so that everybody has context all around. So Wendy Jo Carlton is an award-winning filmmaker, screenwriter, and producer whose work has shaped modern queer cinema. She's the writer and director of Hannah Free, starring Sharon Glass and Jamie and Jesse Are Not Together, regarded as the first lesbian romance musical. Her web series Easy Abby has drawn millions of views worldwide. Where? OML. And her feature Good Kisser further cemented her reputation for creating authentic, character-driven sapphic stories. Based in Chicago, Wendy Jo continues to develop projects that are queer, that are center queer, that center queer women and underrepresented voices, including her upcoming drama, Lucy is a Loser, with humor, heart, and honesty. Her films have resonated deeply with audiences and carved out space for nuanced LGBTQ storytelling on screen. So a formal welcome.
Well, that was an amazing welcome. I feel like I'm done for the day, and I feel like completely satisfied for the next 5 years with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. So tell us a little bit about Lucy the Loser. When is it coming out? What is it about? Where can we watch besides the trailer on OML?
I'm going to do that with you for sure. You've been so great. And you have such a huge following in OML TV. Again, I highly recommend if you want content, quality content that's very, very female, very sapphic oriented, that's OML TV on YouTube. And it's helped get Easy Abby, my web series, a lot more global reach. And it's, I would love to do season 3, right? So it's like several years later. I had Easy Abby season 3, the story, the book for the season written. And, it's always about funding, right? So on that note, speaking of funding, Lucy is a Loser is about a 38-year-old lesbian musician who's down on her luck is a quick way to say it. She's living in her friend Connie's garage, and she's 9 months sober. when she loses her job. She's saving money to get her own apartment, and she loses her job because kind of a Karen type figure at the store. And she stood up for herself, but she loses her job. So, so from there, Lucy gets a letter in the mail from a law firm, but she just thinks it's, a bill collector. So her friend opens it up, and lo and behold, apparently she's received some inheritance from her Aunt Julia in Michigan. So it takes place in Chicago, but it goes to Michigan and back. If she doesn't want to go back, she's afraid she's going to fall off the wagon again. She doesn't, it's about addiction. It's about low self-esteem. It's about feeling shame, even shame that's not yours, that you're kind of born into. That's kind of where the title comes from, what she thinks. So, of course, by Act 2, she does go to Michigan to see what Aunt Julia left her. And she gets a ride, because she lost her license, she gets a ride from an artist acquaintance friend. So Eva's part of the story too. And there's a little bit of romantic tension between them. But you know what? This is a really ambitious movie for me to make. For me, for low budget on top of that. Even for me. Yeah. And I've been at this a while. So I pride myself in, high production value and wonderful actors and cast and soundtrack and all of that. So the ambitious part, I guess, is thematic. So it's the plot I just told you about Lucy going to Michigan to see what her aunt gave her in her will. It's a little bit of an ode to that relationship too, to the relationships of that some of us, if you're lucky to have an adult when you're maybe 10 years old or 11 or 12, not in your family that you're living with, who sees you and cares about you and is kind of looking out for you at the best they can, and can kind of make that imprint on your spirit when the going gets rough. So it's a little bit of an ode to those people and those aunts, uncles, whoever. But the main plot, of course, and there is, she doesn't want to run into her ex-girlfriend when she's in Michigan. So of course there's, romantic tension, because I have to have that in there. I want to have that in there between women. I like complex relationships. I like trying to get it up on screen, that we believe it and we relate to it. And like with Good Kisser is more of rom-com, and there's, I think, there may be more sex scenes in it, but this is a little bit more poetic than that. But there's still, romance and makeouts and stuff, for those of you who are hoping to hear that.
So perfect segue into my next question. You've built a career telling authentic sapphic stories. What keeps you motivated to keep exploring new characters and projects?
What keeps me motivated? Probably the fact that statistically I'm not even supposed to be able to be doing this. I come from a working class, family. I'm the only one to go to college as the baby. And my mom worked hard, and we were renters. We grew up renters. That's part of the Lucy story, is what influences that perspective for me, is understanding how much harder it is, to have opportunities and access to things. But I like to write more subtly than that, right, within a story of the human soul, really. But that motivates me. It motivates me to get, lesbian and queer characters on screen without permission from gatekeepers or Hollywood or, people that don't really know me, to be honest, because then I can just write how I write.
That's a great answer. So Venus is all about connection and taking action. How do you see your work encouraging community and conversation beyond entertainment?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think my work speaks, I think it's both entertaining. This is what I hope for, right? My goal is always to be, I always do want to entertain. I want to tell a story with the craft of story structure and beats and emotional beats and a sense of arc and a payoff, so that it's universally interesting regardless of your sexual orientation or self-identity. So there's that. I think for queer community, lesbian community, I think what I'm trying to do is underneath that part, right? Like in Good Kisser, the lead character, Jenna, is only slowly waking up to the kind of deceit and emotional manipulation of her girlfriend, right? Which is like, it's hard to show that, but I'm interested in those conversations. I'm interested in talking about psychology and sociology and families we grew up from and what informs your sense of self and confidence. So that's kind of the lead character in Good Kisser. And with Lucy, it's less about her having a lover when we meet her and more about how she's trying to rectify how she hurt somebody, how she hurt her former girlfriend when she was addicted to alcohol and other things. So I think there's a lot for conversation in the Venus community.
Yeah, maybe
Go ahead.
One of the terms I've been using is content. So community and content combined. And I'm actually curious what that looks like, because unlike OML, where, you know, we present the content and people will comment on it, engage in different ways. They like it, they don't like it, blah, blah, blah. We're hoping to generate a different kind of conversation. We're calling now content, in that, like, there is a subject introduced and then expounded upon, and then it takes different shape and form, and that could possibly, you know, trigger something within a creative to create something, you know what I mean? Something different.
Yeah.
Than that kind of like linear engagement.
Yeah. Well, now why don't you tell me in this little moment how I should describe Venus to my friends and people who might follow me on Instagram, or other folks I may not know closely. So there's the closer folks who know me, and then there's folks just for
the best app ever.
But no, I will also say that. But
I describe it as a queer and sapphic community app. I mean, there are tons of dating apps out there, and some promise community, but it's like maybe a forum. Our entire focus is community. So, you know, like, I'm happily married. I wouldn't be on a dating app, but something like this, I so crave. It's sort of like, you know, walking into your living room and having a bunch of people there who are talking about things that you care about, and they see you and they invite you to sit down, and you could either participate in the conversation or just feel like you belong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have national, there's siloed groups throughout the country, but there isn't one roof that we're under. And you could still have those subgroups,
right,
but have it be under Venus. So if you're, you know, talking with your group and you're like, well, what are they talking about? And it's an easy access to the others. And we're hoping nonprofits will join in and all of that. So we know what everybody's doing collectively. And that's the whole idea, is truly stronger together. So
stronger together, and feeling validation, especially with all of the very, very scary and threatening things that have happened even in the last 6 months in at least the country you and I are, you know, speaking in and living in, United States. So, yeah, I'm very happy that you're doing this, and I want to help however I can to get people on board. And I want to be able to describe it like you did, even shorter, right? It's like it's an app.
That was a long elevator pitch.
You know what? I'm made for long, but you know. So would I say it's an app but they can also go on the laptop.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's venus.com or?
It's welcometovenus.com. And the app is in the App Store as well as Google Play. And I'm getting the 30-second warning. So much more to come with Wendy Jo. We have a director film series that we are going to do, and we are going to premiere the trailer of Lucy is a Loser. And so be looking out for that, and much more with Wendy Jo.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Stay close. All right. Talk soon.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
People in the house now. Okay. Well, okay. Everybody who doesn't know, I am at the Stonewall Inn. So I got a lot of people. I know. Say, give me a whoop, everybody. We're at the Stonewall. Florencia, wait, hold on a second. I would just have your intro. So you're going to have to introduce everybody. So I'm going to let you do the introductions here.
I love that. That sounds great.
Wait, okay. You know what? I'm going to read your bio first, and
Okay.
then I really will, because Dalila we had on earlier. So, but hold on a second. Florencia Manaville is an Oakland-based Latina writer and director whose work explores new ways of seeing the world through a queer ecofeminist lens. She's best known for creating the groundbreaking web series Dyke Central, praised for its authentic representation of diverse LGBTQ characters, and her short films have screened at festivals worldwide, including Frameline, Outfest, Newfest, and Inside Out. Florencia is now preparing to shoot her next feature film, Queerly Beloved, a queer wedding story set to go into production next year. We are so excited to have her here with us today, and some cast members of Dyke Central. Welcome, 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 women.
Yeah. So I have Giovanni Espiritu here, who played Jin, and she might be unrecognizable to some people because Jin is a very masculine presenting character. And Giovanni is just an incredible actress, also writer, creator, director, producer, all the things. And chameleon and an acting coach, and just a beautiful human being. And she also was an associate producer of Dyke Central, like Dalila, who I actually met. We were just discussing this because of Dyke Central, and that sparked this 12-year friendship now, and then wrote a role for her. And then she also ended up being an associate producer as well as an actor on the show. So yeah, it's just great. And the three of us, both Dalila and Giovanni, are also gonna act in Queerly Beloved, this feature that we're gonna shoot
good,
next year.
y'all. Dyke Central is good, but Queerly Beloved is really good too. So
yeah, and we're part of the producing team on Queerly Beloved too. Queerly Beloved is if you love delightful wedding movies and all things queer, and especially Easter eggs of Bay Area queerness, you will be overwhelmingly delighted by this film.
But yeah, we, Venus is supporting. We're partnering with Venus for the re-release of the full Dyke Central series this year, which is the 10-year anniversary, and we want to put it finally not behind a paywall, so that it's all on YouTube and everybody can watch it.
Yeah, for the first time, you can follow Dyke Central. You can follow Dyke Central's YouTube. It'll also be on OML. We'll be having a delightful, fun time with it. You can revisit or get to know the characters for the first time.
So what inspired you to create Dyke Central, and how has it impacted queer representation?
Yeah, so Dyke Central, it's so funny. I had made a feature film before then, and I was really burned out from that. And everybody always said, it was like around the time of the original L Word, and everybody, we're in the Bay Area, and everyone here was like, that doesn't represent us. Like, that is nothing like what our queer community looks like. So when people, when I was this kind of became a more visible filmmaker, because like my that feature like screened at queer festivals and whatnot, people were always like approaching me like, oh, we should have like our own web series or like a series about ourselves. And I was like, you don't understand how much work that is. Like, that's not possible. But the truth is that like the Bay Area queer community is amazing, is incredible, and really supported us throughout production. Like, we got like places to shoot, people opening their homes to us, people like providing, like I'll never remember, just we would blast out like the things that we needed. And like for the baking scenes, some amazing like queer woman who was a baker was like, oh, here's like the frosting and the colors you need and the piping and all of the things, just kind of stuff like that. So it was very much a collaborative effort. Yeah.
Giovanni, what was it like being in the series in Dyke Central for you?
It's so fun, and it is all about community. It is a huge community friendship based show. It's something that I like, not only like on set, but like behind the scenes. Like, you see from our friendship here, it's lasted over a decade, I started working with Florencia on Fiona's script, which was a feature film. And when I came to Dyke Central, it's a different story, but like it is about celebrating the queer community in the Bay Area and like different kinds of people in the community. And I feel like it was for me, like I got fan letters from internationally all over the world saying, thank you so much for having this out there. Like it was just, that was the part of it that I was just like, we are making a difference in the world. So it's an honor.
Dalila, I'm curious, I'd love to hear your thoughts on making Dyke Central originally.
So I met Florencia at an event for Outfest when it was screening, and we connected on being mommies who are also writers and creators. And I was like, I'm going to go support your project. I didn't know anything about it. We had just met. We just had a really lovely conversation, and I fucking loved it. And I was like, whatever ways I can help support, whatever ways I can drive things to. I had Cherry Bomb and so much. I was like, whatever ways that I can like use my circles of influence to like help make this show be amplified, I will. And then eventually our friendship grew, and so did like my connection to the show and my involvement in the show, and all that. And it was the most, before Sense8, it had the most diversity of race, color, gender that I had ever seen in any show ever. Like people being authentically themselves, but also like Florencia was willing to take risks on casting that other people weren't, like casting like a trans man as a possibly cisgendered gay man, and like things that like people just weren't doing that happened anyway. And it's beautiful. I mean, Flo, I know you've exponentially grown as an artist, but the show is just beautiful. Like the way it's shot, there's such a texture of authenticity around the way that all of us connect with each other. And there are still so many relationships that I have and friendships that I built through the connections I made, which I think is like, the flower blossoms from the root, just like the root, like the, things can rot from the head, the flower blossoms from the root. Like there's a beautiful root in all of this that like flows through to all the relationships, the storytelling, the connection. And I think the people that the piece eventually connects with wherever they find it.
And I want to speak to that diversity and authentic diversity, because sometimes you see on many shows, it's like you feel like they're checking boxes, right? It's like, but Florencia, this felt like this series felt real and authentic, and this is what's a commitment to the whole cast, and the casting. Was that from the beginning?
Yeah, because that is what my group of friends and my community looks like, so that was the whole point from the beginning. And yeah, Dalila's alluding to, I'm always like, I've grown so much as a filmmaker. So for me, when I watch Dyke Central, it's like, I'm proud of it. And also I cringe in certain moments because, it's been really more than 10 years since we shot it. But yeah, that is, to me, that's the whole point of why I make film and media. And so Queerly Beloved is, to me, and that's why we kind of are connecting the both, is kind of an evolution in that it is an ensemble piece and it's about community and chosen family. Even though it's kind of an anti-wedding movie in that sense. But yeah, it is about a very diverse group of friends, and it's about not homogenizing, people's identities or what people, what people are in a community, but also, and I think this is the piece that feels really important to me right now, is kind of how people can be different and still really hold each other with love. Yeah.
And it's the 10th anniversary, right, of Dyke Central, and you're doing Queerly Beloved. What does community? Why is it important now more than ever? Does it feel like that to you guys? I'm curious, each of your thoughts on that. If each of you could speak to that, I guess we'll start with let's Giovanni, and then I'll move around.
Me first? Okay. I had a tragedy happen about 5 months ago, and community really was so important to me. Where I could reach out to somebody at 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and just be like, I need to talk to somebody now. Now. And the fact that I could call someone and someone was there for me, and that is community. And especially in these times where so much of our community is being erased and silenced and kind of dismissed, we need the safe spaces for us to go so that we can talk to somebody and just be like, hey, I'm not crazy, right? You see this too. So that is why community is so important. Because I don't know what is going to happen in the world, but we need to bind together, to keep going, to fight whatever the thing is that we need to fight,
Beautiful. Dalila?
I think that there is a very interesting, I think a lot of us, I was raised in a blue state. I was raised in Northern California, actually, a whole bunch of family in the Bay. And now I live in Los Angeles. And we are used to having what feels like at least a progressive, safe space around most things. Even if there's some dangers, it at least doesn't feel as extreme. It does not feel that way anymore. And my one little glimmer of hope I had after getting lost in a lot of what's been happening is that I talked to somebody who was from Kentucky. And I was like, how are you dealing? And they were like, we've been dealing with this shit forever. We already have the system set up. We have the community care set up. We've already got the clinic over here that's already hoarding the things. We've got these back channels for how we're getting the medicines for people. We've got a phone tree already set up so that we can call people when someone's in need. And I was like, okay, so there is pathways. We just haven't needed to use them. And I think what actually needs to happen is something along a national network around community care that we haven't needed before because we weren't under a fascist regime in the past. It was a mess, but it wasn't this far. Do you know what I'm saying? Now we need that, and that there are people who have put parts of that in place before, and there's some ways that we can replicate that and then interconnect them in a way that actually services everybody. And that's where community comes in. The reality is, it's very hard to.
Can I jump in just because I think we have less than a minute left?
Yes, please jump in.
Yeah, I think that community is a word that is thrown around a lot these days, right? It's used everything, even it's oh, my community of followers. It's no. And I love really thinking about what does community actually mean, and kind of what to Dalila was saying. I don't think it's a national thing. at least in terms of what we're talking about, like the community that will really have your back, especially as like our social institutions are breaking down and are not able to take care of people. It's like, who are the community that are going to take care of each other? And it doesn't matter if you have like the same identity markers or the same like actual beliefs or anything. It's about who's going to be there to show up for you when, you know, when something difficult happens. And so I think that expanding or like really working to fight that isolation that, you know, the system encourages and really like foments, and everybody sort of in their individualistic little pods. It's about breaking out of that and being like, okay, what is the collective care? What are these systems, like Dalila was saying, of like mutual aid? What are the systems of like taking care of everybody around us, even if they don't look like me, think like me, or like are living life, or, you know, have the same, yeah.
You guys, I am so sorry this is cut short. I just want everybody to support Dyke Central. You'll see the OML, this is your 10th anniversary. You guys are, I'm so proud of it. I'm so glad we're.
And follow Queerly Beloved, the movie, on Instagram, because that's where we'll be making posts about that. And Dyke Central on Instagram, and I'm sure OML as well will be making the announcements about when the final drop is for the whole series.
Dyke Central, Instagram, yes. Queerly Beloved. Follow these guys. Thank you guys so much. We are so honored to have you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Katherine.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Plus matchmaking service in the U.S. And she's a licensed clinical psychologist and board-certified sex therapist with more than 20 years of experience. She has this rare ability to blend professional expertise with warmth, humor, and heart, and she's helped countless people find love and connection. Frankie, we're so lucky to have you with us today.
Shirin, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So much to talk about. Okay, so I can ask you a million questions, and you've had, what has it been, like 2 or 3 years worth of content on OML now? So
yes, probably 3 years. It's been a while. You gave me the opportunity.
Hours and hours of wisdom, so you have to check that out. And we also have it on Venus. So let's dive right on in. From your perspective, what feels most unique about dating as a lesbian, queer, or bisexual woman in 2025? What challenges are showing up most often for your clients right now?
Where can we find her, Dr. Frankie? That's the question I get so often. Where? So I always say, find something you're passionate about, curious about, want to learn something new, and get out there and meet in real life. Because you're more likely going to connect with somebody in real life, face to face. And when you're in your element, so if you're like a climber or you're a hiker, join a hiking group, go to a meetup, that kind of thing. So that's usually where I encourage people to explore.
I'm already going to go off script. So how do you know if a blend is right? Like, what is it that you look for, if I may ask?
What I look for as a matchmaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I look to see if they have similar values, shared interests, like there's a good enough overlapping shared interests, and differences, because you don't want to be dating your clone. You want to meet somebody who also does other things so you can be exposed to new things. But also, do you want, do you have children? Do you want children? You know what I mean? Is family a really strong value for you? Are you religious? Is religion a strong value for you? Like, those are things that are kind of non-negotiable. Like, if you're we're moms. So if you're a family oriented person, you're a mom, you often are going to feel like you're going to vibe better with somebody who can understand what it's like to be a parent.
So, okay, I am going to go back on script, but one other question.
So if you meet somebody and you're not feeling the vibe, could it be that the vibe comes later?
100%.
Okay.
So media tells us that we're
Yeah.
supposed to be feeling fireworks and like just like this intense desire, right? A real deep attraction. But for many, it doesn't often happen that way, especially as we get older. You and I are in the same, right, age group. We become more
30-something.
discerning. Yeah, 30 something. We'll go with it. But we're more like guarded, more protective. We've been through a lot. So it's harder to access that like spontaneous desire and chemistry, and it can develop. So as long as you are enjoying being in the presence of this person and you're curious to learn more about them and you laugh, there's laughter on the date. That's so important to be able to laugh. Then I say go again, go out a few times and see if an attraction starts to develop.
I love that. Okay, so dating apps, and one of the things that we keep telling people, because people do not have a reference for what a community app is, and Venus is a community app, but there are so many dating apps that are out there, and they can be a blessing and a curse for queer women. Lots of options, but also burnout. How do you see queer women navigating this landscape differently than straight folks, and what actually works best? And go ahead, I will say it, Dr. Frankie works best.
I love it. It's an option. Matchmaking should be considered, but what I love, Shirin, about your platform is that it's a community, right? So there are people coming together without pressure to be dating. So I think in that environment, we should be slow dating. We should be getting to know each other, asking questions of one another. We should be speaking up about different things that we are interested in and creating dialogue, conversations, discussion in this arena, in this forum, because attraction can develop. So it's sort of like this concept of slow dating. You can slowly get to know each other with the understanding that there are going to be singles in this community who would be interested in meeting like-minded women to date ultimately.
Love that. Okay, so OML, all about media and representation on screen and so forth. And obviously now we're seeing more queer women in the media and pop culture. Do you feel that visibility actually has changed how we show up in relationships, or is there still a disconnect between what we see and how we live?
Such a good question. I feel like a lot of times it's like a lot of femmes, and I don't watch a ton of TV, so this might not be accurate, but from my perspective, it doesn't feel very reflective of what's actually happening in our community. I think femmes, are attracted to femmes. I think butches can be attracted to butches. I think femmes and butches are attracted to each other. Like, it runs the gamut, and there's a range. So what's presented on the big screen isn't, I don't think, exactly reflective of what's real.
Well, and I wonder about that, again, going off script, but we just watched, my wife and I, we binge Hunting Wives because we heard so much about it. And then, it's one of those sinful pleasures, but then I was just like, is the female attraction created for the male gaze, and if so, why are we enjoying it?
I mean, it's entertaining. I watched a couple episodes and I can see what the draw is, but I think that is still at play. That's still there, I think. It's sort of like, it's so acceptable to consider, in the hetero community, to consider two feminine, beautiful women being attracted to each other versus two butches.
Yeah, you're actually, that, strangely enough, I didn't think about that till now, but we're represented-ish. Not really.
Not really. With that said, I'm grateful for visibility in general.
Yeah,
that's more than we had 25 years ago, 30 years ago when I came out. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What do we have? Yeah. We had Ellen.
Yeah, that it's definitely normalized, but God, you just said, I love it when somebody says something that I haven't at all heard before. And like I have that aha moment and I'm like, you're absolutely right. Like it's just one type of lesbian that we see over and over again. So.
And what's interesting, I wonder if you've found this too, is that I see there's a trend in more women, feminine women, showing interest in femmes. As a matchmaker and a dating and relationship coach and psychologist, I've seen it across the board where there is an increase. There's also an increase in women coming out later in life, which is amazing.
And do you think that's has something to do with media representation? I've heard we on one of our socials on Venus, we talked about one of the women, actually two of the women, I think on the call were both had come out later in life, and they were talking about that it seems to be more and more common, but
it's easier today to come out than it was 30 years ago. It's less scary. It's more accepting. Even with all the crazy social media, right, shaming and just all this fear, there's a lot of fear out there. So even with all of that, the fear of being seen as somebody who's lesbian, who just wants to explore and maybe is curious about their sexuality, that's not scaring them off enough, because there's increased numbers out there. I can see it. And I'm happy. That means that we're moving the needle, that it's feeling safer to be curious. And we're humans. We all, right? Sexuality is fluid and there's a range in sexual orientation, and it can change over time. So somebody who's been married to a man for 25 years could certainly come out later and realize, you know what? Finding myself attracted to, coworker, a good friend. What's all of this about? And knowing that they can actually explore it and not feel like they have to squash it and tuck it away deep into the depths of their soul,
I totally agree. I mean, I love the LGBTQ community, but it seems like anyone who is not just straight gets thrown into our group. So it's like there's the straight and then there's the LGBTQ, IA2 spirit, whatever. It's just like, put us on a continuum.
Yes.
The human continuum, straight, gay, whatever. And we're all somewhere in the middle.
Everything in between.
But if you and I ruled the world, it would be different.
I agree, Shirin.
Okay, so moving on. You've worked with so many lesbian and queer couples over the years. What strengths do you see in our relationships that often get overlooked or undervalued?
Compassion. I think we're nurturing. As women, we're talking about women, right? Yeah. Nurturing.
Always.
Compassion. Always. Love the women. Just so that says a lot. I think in relationship, if we can be, compassionate and care at the very end of the day, if we care for each other, right? That's what we need to be in relationship, is to just give a shit, to care. And we do a good job, us women, caring for each other.
I love that. Okay, I'm going to leave that one as is because it's perfection. Okay, so want to talk a little bit about red flags and green flags. What are some of the biggest red flags you encourage queer women to watch for in dating? And on the flip side, what are some green flags that signal someone is trustworthy to invest in?
Yeah, great. So inconsistencies right from the outset. When you start to notice somebody is sharing information that's conflictual or inconsistent, and it's causing you to question whether you can trust them, whether, that you got to listen to that. Also, if you're not feeling quite right in somebody's presence, you got to notice, like the mind-body connection, our intuition is a second brain. Listen to it. That's a red, right? That's a red flag right there. If you're in their presence and you're not feeling good, I would abort mission. Green flags are like somebody, follows through with what they show up on time. They're communicative. You're not feeling like you're having to chase them. There's not this like push-pull sort of stuff. Like they're elusive, hard to grasp, hard to nail a date down. They don't respond in a timely manner. And I mean like within a day, reasonable. I think some of us have an unrealistic expectation when it comes to like, responding in text message, for example. People are busy, they have lives, right? And if you're just beginning to date somebody, they're not necessarily going to respond within the next hour or two, but within a reasonable amount of time, like a day, right? You want to know that they show up, that they are prioritizing dating. It's important, and that your time is valuable. So green flag. Also, one more thing, it's important. On your dates, in your conversations, are they talking positively about their relationships, about their past relationships? Or are they really talking disparagingly about their exes and focused on talking about a recent breakup? Those are red flags. They haven't worked through, right?
I love that. So we're coming to the end of our lovely 15 minutes together. We're have built this amazing community app and platform. Can you talk about the importance of community?
Absolutely. So important. I am a big, huge proponent of us coming together and supporting each other. We need each other now more than ever. So I hope that people take advantage of this amazing community, Shirin, that you are creating. I'm so honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to uplift. We have to uplift each other, and I'm happy to be there. I know I'm going to be there on a weekly basis, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I need to be connected to our community on a regular basis. So thank you for doing this. I will be. Yes, I'm committed to you and to our community.
You promise to stay very close.
I promise to stay very close.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview. This was fantastic. And this will continue on and on and on and just get bigger and better. So,
I look forward to seeing all of it evolve.
Yep, we're ready for it.
Janelle is in the house.
Been waiting for you. Are you ready for it?
Bring it on. And you got the memo?
Oh, did I? Yeah, no, I have to.
Well done.
Came from going to a meeting, so here I am. You got me in real life.
Yay.
How's it going? How's the launch going? How's the live stream going?
Oh my God, it's been fantastic. So Katherine is at Stonewall. So she is doing her interviews from Stonewall. So we've been switching, and I'm back home with my pup and 2 cats. So not as exciting over on this side, but it's been like today has been spectacular. And we've just had so many great interviews, including you. We have a tiny amount of time. I want to ask you a million questions, so I'm going to just dive in.
Do it.
And we may not get to all of them because they're being very strict about the 15 minutes, which is good.
Who is this they that is so strict?
I blame Stephen, our technical director, who's amazing, but he's trying to keep us on task. And we're going from all of everything that we're doing, and we've got people lined up to an amazing event at Stonewall, live event at Stonewall, and then also in LA at Sapphic Swims.
Awesome.
So super exciting stuff. Let me do a quick intro to you, and then we'll get on with it.
Great.
Okay. So Janelle Kelman is a nationally recognized leader at the intersection of climate risk, policy innovation, and coastal resilience. As the former mayor and city council member of Sausalito, she secured millions in funds for sea level rise adaptation and helped pioneer policies that integrate long-term climate risk into local decision-making. She's the founder of the Center for Sea Rise Solutions, where she advances bold strategies to protect coastal communities, connecting governments, ports, and innovators worldwide. Janelle holds degrees from Yale, Oxford, and Stanford Law. I almost feel like I made that up saying it. How one does that is amazing. And is currently running for Lieutenant Governor of California.
Mind blown.
On a personal note, I've known Janelle for many years, and I'm proud to call her a close friend. She brings brilliance, heart, and vision to everything she does. Welcome. I'm going to rapid fire questions.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm honored to be here, though. Thank you, because you've always been a leader in this space, and you make your voice heard. But more than that, you amplify other people's voices, which is, I think, the cornerstone of community. So thank you. And my cat, which is going to join us, is also thanking you.
All right. Maggie may have to join the conversation too. But thank you. That's very, very, very kind of you. Okay, jumping in. You've led both local and international climate initiatives. As you step into the race for Lieutenant Governor, how do you see climate justice intersecting with the needs and lives of and experiences of LGBTQ communities, especially queer women?
Yeah, let me just first say I'm the only LGBTQ candidate in the race. I'm also the only climate expert in the race. And so I bring this unique perspective. And I think climate justice is about recognizing that the burdens of climate change simply don't fall equally, right? They hit the most vulnerable communities first and hardest. And I think for queer women, especially those who may already face discrimination in other avenues like housing or employment, climate impacts add really another layer of risk. In my work, I think a lot about extreme heat. I think about wildfires. I think about lack of access to evacuation routes. And those challenges are magnified if you're already marginalized. So my approach and the thing I think about on the campaign trail is to make sure that climate resilience planning embeds equity from the start. It can't be an equity project. It has to be an equity lens. And for our community, that means safe housing. It means inclusive healthcare. And it means leadership opportunities and visibility that reflect the everyday reality, not somebody's made up story or a policy talking point.
Love that. So queer women are often leading movements at the grassroots level. From your perspective as both a policymaker and candidate, what are the most effective ways for queer women to get involved in advocacy, even outside of traditional political spaces?
Here's the thing. We're really good at this, right? We're really good at community and really good at bringing other people together and amplifying those stories. Queer women are actually some of the most powerful organizers I've seen, because we have spaces like community mutual aid or climate activism or cultural spaces where community is everything. And, you know, I started as a small town mayor and a community leader. So when I think about leadership, I think, you know, advocacy doesn't always look like holding elected office or working in Sacramento. It can be storytelling, it can be art, entrepreneurship. And so when people ask, like, well, how do you know, like, when to get started? It's like, today. If you're thinking about it, today. Don't ask for permission. If you have an idea and you have a community behind you, make your voice be heard.
Love that. Love that. And if we have time, I'm going to ask more questions. So your work in climate resilience has centered on preparing communities for long-term challenges. How do those lessons translate to building stronger, more supportive queer communities here in California?
So that word resilience is such a pivotal word right now. It used to be everybody talked about sustainability, but as a lifelong athlete and an ultra runner, I think about resilience all the time. And that's the ability to withstand some type of stress and bounce back. And I think that our queer community is one of the most resilient communities. We bounce back time and time again. And in fact, I've started to sort of workshop this idea of resilience. So it came from sustainability to resilience to a theme of a little bit more self-reliance. And I don't mean that in an isolationist format, but what I mean is we can do this on our own together. And we can be independent in community and merging some of those dichotomies, because I think it allows us to be very powerful and step into our own power. And so we know how to do this in the queer community. And as we begin to invest in infrastructure to prepare for, you know, wildfire resilience or sea level rise, we know that this type of resilience is always strongest when it's rooted in connection. And so being a part of a community like LGBTQ community is just a logical extension of that format of resilience.
I love that. I really love that. And just the whole idea of stronger together. I know it's cliche, but I mean, that's what community is about. So if I want to say when elected lieutenant governor, what would be your priorities around advancing equity and inclusion for LGBTQ Californians, and how would you ensure queer women have a seat at the decision-making table? This is very close to my heart.
I know it is. I try to keep things simple, right? Rule of three, because my overarching theme is representation. Representation is power. We need to see people who look like us. Our kids need to see people who look like them. And that really builds an emotional connection. And so I like to focus on three things. I think about visibility in leadership. So not just that our voices are at the table, but we are key advisors. We are decision makers. We are the ones at the helm. Visibility allows us to see others who are in those places too and amplify their work, like we're doing, I think, for each other today. Protecting each other's rights. I think for a long time, California was this beacon of rights, and you could come here and feel safe. Now we have to be a fortress of those rights. So it's not enough that we're pretty good. No, we have to be beyond reproach, because there may not be other places for people around the country to go and seek safety, really. And then the last piece is about equity, and it's about equity and opportunity. So whether it's workforce development, education, or healthcare, policies have to explicitly include LGBTQ Californians. That's the only way to do it. You have to be explicit, no ambiguity in our policy writing. Let people know where you stand.
Love that. So on a personal note, what continues to inspire you to push for systematic change, and how do you sustain your energy in both politics and advocacy? I'm going to say a lot of trail running.
A lot of yes, trail running is very much meditation. I think so. I gave a talk the other day to National Charity League, 200 moms and daughters who are very dedicated to philanthropy, and I talked to them about ikigai. And it's the Japanese philosophy of finding your passion and your purpose, right? What the world needs, what you're good at, what you can get paid for, what you want to do. And then you find that middle where they overlap, and that's your ikigai. And my ikigai has always been rooted in community. From a very young age, I played team sports. I played team sports in college. Being a part of a team, being connected to a larger goal, a larger purpose has always been what's driven me. So when things seem, the battle seems very uphill, and it seems like, wow, this is a very, very long marathon I'm in right now. I somehow then find my way to community and have these types of conversations. And I remember, oh, wait, I'm not alone. I have teammates. We're in it together. We're trying to amplify each other.
I love that. And you may actually be the first interview where we've come in on time and under time. So I'm going to ask you some other questions. Tell us a little bit about your current campaign, because it's definitely a little unconventional in many ways, but very germane to you.
Well, someone said to me the other day, you've never held statewide office. What makes you think you could run for statewide office? And I said, most politicians have not held office before they run. Now, I was the mayor of my town, and I've been involved as a community leader for a very long time. I do international, global climate work. So I've been in important rooms making hard decisions. But I think it's the opportunity to see change ahead of us and to acknowledge we do need new voices and new leadership at the table. So if you're watching, you're going to be at the Dinah next weekend, I'll be there. Come find me on Saturday. We're doing a meet and greet. I think it's at 12 at the Riviera. And just stay connected with community and reach out and let me know what's on your mind.
So because we have about a minute and 15 minutes, on the tough days, what gets you up in the morning? I
am wired towards gratitude. And I live here in Sausalito, and I have a water view, and the water changes with the light. There's no 2 seconds of the day where it's the same. And I just feel so much gratitude that I'm living this journey. And it's part of, I think, my orientation towards endurance sports. So, I like to run 50-kilometer races, 50-mile races. And the thing about those races, let's say 50K, that's 30.8 miles. You can't spend the whole time thinking, oh God, I can't wait till I'm at 30 miles. I can't wait. You've got to love mile 5. You got to love mile 20. You've got to love them all, even when they're hard, right? So you get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so I am just leaning into the journey, the stories I get to hear from people. I'm in people's living rooms. I'm in their backyards. And this is a time when there is a lot of emotion around leadership and around politics. And I get to play some small part. And that is so powerful and so inspiring. And I've been sharing recently that I've been going all over the state. I did a trip to Wairika, all the way to Eureka. I was just in Modesto and Merced. And I am meeting in every one of these communities local leaders who are very quietly but effectively raising money, building childcare centers, developing job pipelines, bringing innovation. And not so that they can be on the front of a magazine, but they're doing it because they love their community. And that is so powerful. And I keep seeing these leaders over and over again. And so I feel really honored that as I am traveling, I'm sort of just I'm just the person weaving these stories together. I'm carrying them, but they are really the stories of California, and they're super inspiring.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and so happy to have had this time, and truly just to have you as a friend and to watch you do your magic, and really hope that we do keep you close. We will amplify your voice however way we can, and hopefully we'll have more in-depth interviews with you as you hit the campaign trail over and over again till
I'm going to bring
there.
you with me. That's right.
Yes.
We talked about this. So thank you. And I will see you very soon.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm here with Punky Johnson. Venus, what's happening? We are both live at the Stonewall. Yeah, we live over here at the Stonewall. We up here just being all query. Oh, good. She's got her own microphone. Yes, I do. Yes, you do. Now, hold on a second, Punky. Wait, I got to put my glasses on because I got to introduce you. Because people got to, what the hell? You got to know who you are, how fabulous you are. Punky Johnson is a comedian, actor, and writer from New Orleans who joined the cast of Saturday Night Live. Yeah, baby. 2020. She appeared in HBO Max's Love Life, where Time Magazine called her a particular standout, as well as Space Force, a Black Lady sketch show, and Big Bird presents The Ringers. Punky also lent her voice as the writer and consultant on Peacock's reboot of Queer as Folk. Most recently, she starred on the comedy Bottoms, directed by Emma Seligman, and produced by Elizabeth Banks. Punky brings her signature wit, fearless humor, and heart to everything she does, and we're thrilled she is here in person with me here today at the Stonewall.
What's up? Oh, them accolades, you just, oh, Lord. You made me feel good today.
Oh, yeah,
I woke up dragging. Read that one more time.
Oh, you want me to read that one more time? You deserve every accolade you get. Now, I just want to ask you, comedy is such a powerful way to bring people together. How do you use humor to connect queer audiences?
Well, honestly, I use it to connect audiences because all I got to do is be my true, authentic self, because at the end of the day, we kind of sort of all go through the same thing. My comedy comes strictly based off all of my relationships that I have with people, specifically the women that are in my life. And I have some crazy stuff that goes on that I think that men and in particular, and also other people will understand because it's our relationship stuff that we all go through. We all get in arguments about stupid stuff. I like to keep the ketchup in the refrigerator. She like to keep the ketchup in the cabinet. It's stupid stuff like that. And I think people like to relate to stupid, dumb things like that.
How has your experience as a queer woman shaped your work on SNL and other projects?
Well, here's my mind. Okay. Well, I think with that, it lets me know that it's bigger than me. Like they have times in my life where I just want to quit and throw it all away because it could get really hard and really frustrating, and my mental health can really be affected by just being a gay person in the media. People are mean and some people don't like, the gay side or whatever. But when I think about walking away from it all, sometimes I'll walk out the door and I'll see a gay person or a queer person or a trans person or somebody in the LGBT community, and they would say, Punky, thank you so much. And that is the times where I realize it's bigger than me and how I feel. It's bigger. It's about us. No matter what, just keep being outside, keep representing for who we are, keep representing for the people that don't have a voice, and just being present and being here with us.
And it's not easy.
No.
Talk about that.
It's either you're too gay or you're not gay enough, you're too black or you're not black enough, you're not funny enough, you're over the top, you're too brash. You can't really find, sometimes as me, I'm like a gay person from the South. I don't really go by queer. Where I came from, we went as dykes. And sometimes when I come out and I say stuff like that, they're like, wow, that's just way too hardcore. That's way too fresh. That's how I was born. And that's how I was raised in that region of gayness. So it gets really crazy. But I think the whole point is we just like get together and keep educating each other and talking to each other with decency and respect and learning how to understand each other and where we all come from and how different we all understand we are. I think that helps as well.
And there's queer representation. Just get slurry, make a difference. I haven't had a drink. I'm sober and I'm like, where?
That's all right. That's all right. I'm sweating a little bit too. I need some water. But wait, ask me the question one more time.
What kind of an impact does queer representation make? With media. I mean, there's somebody like you,
Yeah,
you can change lives, Punky.
You know what? I recorded my comedy special on Sunday, and a lot of it comes from my grimy material about how we are gay in the South. And I was like, no, man, don't call me queer, call me butch. And what happened to the old school names like Bulldog? Yeah. And they had like maybe 2 or 3 gay women, young generation gay women. They came up to me and it was like, oh my God, no one says it anymore. We feel seen. Thank you so much, Punky. And sometimes I would try to soften my material because I feel like people are like, oh no, we don't say butch no more. We don't say that no more. It's queer now. And sometimes I'll feel like I'm offending my own people. But then when I get my other gay people, they come up and they're like, no. We accept it. We understand where you come from. We feel seen. So, but also it's that hardcoreness that's inside of me as well. So it's just like, I don't really think they have too many hardcore butches on television. And so when I put that out there across the board on the platform and I see all the rest of my hardcore butches like, yeah, that's the part that make me keep going.
From one bush to another. From one bush to another. I appreciate that, Punky.
That's right.
I appreciate that.
Look, we need butch representation. We got gay representation. We have our trans representation. We have our queer representation. We need some butches out here.
Yeah. So tell me, like, where is your work bringing you now? Like, what are you doing right now?
Right now, I am
closer, man. Nobody can see you.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, get on out there.
Yeah. Right now, I am actually trying to write a very gay movie. And you know what? It's not the heart of the movie is not even really being gay. The heart of it is kind of leaving your past behind and starting a new path and not being afraid to let go and just wash your body clean and move on. But it's going to have a lot of gay elements in how I was raised and how I was brought up. And I'm just gonna be y'all be on the lookout for this movie. It's gonna be so fantastic. It's about how me and my wife we got a divorce and I had to chase her around to find her so she could sign the papers. But in the movie, we're gonna make it like I chased her around, and then she didn't want to get the divorce, so she threw all kind of traps and like exes and showing my, my F-boy ways to the person that I was currently with, so we could break up. It's gonna be just like a roller coaster ride of like some what's that daggone movie called? Like Road Trip versus like Girl Trip. It's gonna be super adventurous, super fun, super like goofy, like that SNL type feel, mixed with the heart of it, which is moving on, and it's all right to let go, but also every single gay element and everything that my butchers want, they're gonna love it. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
No, you are not talking. Being interviewed, man. No. What were some of your favorite moments on SNL?
I think working with Kim Kardashian was a very where we come from, especially just working at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, a lot of like famous people sometimes can be just a little bit snooty and stuck up. And Kim Kardashian, she's a billionaire, so I was very hesitant to approach her, but she was one of the most down-to-earth people. She's the type of person that'll treat the janitor and the CEO exactly the same. Everybody's a human being in her eyes. I loved working with her. I loved working with my friend Vanessa, and she's a writer, and my boy Alex, who's also ex-writer, and my boy Ben, and together we wrote a song called Big Boys. We had SZA in that thing, we had Keke Palmer in that thing, and it went viral, and I think it's top 3 songs in SNL history.
What advice do you have for young queer women trying to find their voice in entertainment?
You know what? I think the trouble that I've had in my career has not been being gay. It's been feeling unsafe in certain rooms to where I would make myself smaller and feel that I didn't belong at the table because I was so different from everybody else. And those times was my greatest downfall. So I think if you win every time, even if you lose, if you're just authentic and you keep it true to your heart. Like, don't go in these rooms and shrink. Don't go in these rooms and act like them because you're different. I would say you have to completely just be you. Even if they think you're crazy, even if they think you're weird, even if they think you're a freak, I would say you have to just go in there and be 100%. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to go home feeling you'll feel smaller if you try to be different than who you are. And that was my biggest downfall. And now I feel like I finally feel like I've been walking in my own shoes in this business. And whether I win, lose, fail, or succeed, either way, I feel good about myself when I go to sleep at night.
Where's Kathy Renna?
Kathy.
Oh, Kathy Renna, one of our advisors and wonderful member. By the way, Punky Johnson is also a member of Venus. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. That's right. I think one of the things that I love about Venus is that I feel like it is a hub for our queer community, for us to go places and we could communicate about where nightlife is and what's the best bars and places that we can go. And I think even healthcare. I just met a writer here, and now I'm connected. Now we're gonna connect, and that's what Venus is all about.
And Kathy,
it's about connection.
It's actually, yeah. So Kathy, more sign language. Anyway,
that can mean a lot. Like all lesbians here, all that to the wrong.
So Kathy has been the basically communications director for NLTF, the task force.
Yes. Okay. It's the National LGBTQ Task Force. We added some letters. Yeah, that was about 10.
I'm sorry. See, I botched it. And Kathy has been doing communication for our community for decades. Kathy, do you have a question for Punky, since you know Punky so well?
What are we doing after this, Punky? That's my question.
You really want me to tell you?
Yeah.
I am judging a strip pole competition.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's a 26-foot pole.
It's always a good time with her. Always a
Judging
good time.
a 6-foot pole. It's the tallest pole in New York.
Don't mention this to my wife. Judging back over here now before I get in trouble.
It's the tallest pole in
It is on record the tallest pole in New York City from the first floor all the way up to the second floor. And these wonderful, beautiful women, they go from the bottom all the way to the top and they slam down. And it's a sight to see.
I didn't expect that to come out of your mouth, Punky.
Kathy set me up.
Kathy set you up?
She did.
Well, you're going to stay for the party, though. Well, but Punky, you're staying for the party because we have a party that is going to be live streamed here at the Stonewall tonight, starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. And so you have to stay tuned for that. And Punky, any final thoughts as we wrap up this portion? Because the next we have 76th Street, who's going to surprise us with a special thing.
76th Street.
All right. So
I do have one final thought. Everybody jump on board with Venus. You know, one thing I love about Venus, with how I take it from my POV, I feel like it's a place of safety for us. It's like you go there if you need a sense of belonging. You can go there if you need a sense of closeness to our community. I feel like it's not just an app; it's a lifeline for us to have a platform to be exactly who we are. And I just support it 100%, and I'm happy to be a part of Venus. And I encourage, especially in the climate that we are, when people are trying to, what it seemingly is to erase us, we are continuously being creative and finding ways for it to be impossible for us to be forgotten. So thank you all so much for creating it. It's fantastic. It's going to blow up, and I love it. I encourage people to jump on it. It's good for us.
Oh my God, you are.
I love you guys.
I just love. I mean, how can you not love her more? That is Punky Johnson, everybody. Punky Johnson, everybody. We're going to pause for a second because 76th Street has a surprise for us next. So we'll be right back at Stonewall.
We're on the show. Oh, everyone can see you. It's good to know. Hey,
you guys are already here.
Here on time.
Oh my God, I love you both. And I hope everybody knows 76th Street. Does everybody know 76th Street in this bar? Because if you don't, you need to. Hi, you guys. Haley. Oh, Haley and Spencer, I just adore you both. You know I adore you both.
We adore you.
So much for joining us. I'm just gonna read a little thing about you guys in case anybody. I'm here at the Stonewall. If you can't tell. All right. So all y'all listen up. 76th Street is a Nashville-based pop rock duo made up of lifelong best friends Haley Gold and Spencer Bryant, known for their soaring harmonies and raw, heartfelt songwriting. They create music that's both intimate and anthemic, rooted in self-discovery, fierce independence, and queer joy. Their breakout single, Girl, became a worldwide phenomenon with over 5 million streams across platforms, resonating deeply with fans around the globe. We were lucky enough to sit down with them for an hour-long interview on Venus and OML, and to have them as members. And we're very, very beyond thrilled to welcome them live with us here today. Yay! Hey, girls. Where are you? You're on tour right now?
We're in Nashville. We just got back from the first leg of our tour. Just last night. So kind of in the midst of everything, but we're back in Nashville for the week at least.
You're back in Nashville for the week. How's the first leg of your tour going?
It was
Oh my
great.
gosh.
It was so good. We just got to spend time with so many happy queer people that were just there to have a good time and sing songs with us and dance, and it's just been liberating.
What started you guys writing music and being bold enough to write sapphic lyrics, to write queer music, you know, and because that could have gone either way for you guys, right?
Yeah, 100%. But it's the thing that has resonated the absolute most with us is once we started writing really from our hearts and our souls. That's just what the music became. It was so natural for us to sing about our own journey, and it was just a miracle that we found other people that connected to it. So it's kind of just built this whole community for us, and now there's no turning back. We never would.
And tell me, what was the first song that you wrote that sort of kind of hit?
It was "Girl." I think that
all right. Tell the people here. I'm sure many people have heard "Girl." So tell me the origins of "Girl."
So we wrote "Girl" about just over a year ago, and we knew that we wanted to hit it hard with that first line and give the people something they could relate to and something that we've experienced. So we start the song off with the line, "I think that I just got more gay."
We really wanted the song to be a tribute to some of our favorite queer women in music as well. So the chorus is filled with our favorite artists, Brandy Carlisle, Indigo Girls, Muna,
Mary Lambert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then what happened? Oh, my mic is working.
The song did everything we hoped it would do and so much more. It brought together a community of just the most incredible people, just the most genuine people. And it acquired over 5 million streams in its first year, and it changed our lives.
And for anybody who doesn't know, you guys grew up together, right?
We did. We met in 5th grade. We actually lived on either side of 76th Street, which is how we got our name, what brought the music together. And we've just been singing ever since we met, truly.
And I think it's like, seriously, this party has been going on since like 3 o'clock this afternoon. It's like, it's New York. People come out.
Party never stops. Party never stops.
Party never stops. It hasn't stopped since the revolution.
Hell yeah.
So, and you wrote a song about Lipstick Lounge.
We did.
Tell me about Lipstick Lounge and why, and because that represented community to you both.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this, the minute we got home from our tour, the first place we went to was the Lipstick Lounge. That is our home away from home. It is our community center that looks like a bar. It is our sanctuary, and it's where we met all of our best friends and people we've dated. And then, of course, in the song, we say that's where we met ourselves as well. It's a really important place, and it deserved a love song.
And do you guys have a song that you might play for us today?
We do.
You do?
We do.
I'm just going to wait for it.
Okay.
I'm going to prep this audience.
All right.
So you guys get ready.
We have a guitar right here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna sing "Come On, Man."
Oh, awesome! I love that song.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic and get the audience to pay attention here.
Okay. All right. All right.
We're good to go?
I think we're good to go.
All right. This is "Come On, Man."
Off they go again, asking me if we're related. Yeah, we are. In fact, this is our wedding celebration. Sometimes it can be funny, sometimes it kind of hurts. Just say that we look great, let's not make the matter worse. We got our bags at the hotel stand. Gone, we'll go around again. Yeah, we'll take the king-size bed. I can tell you're looking for the man. We'll take the champagne too. Gotta say, I kinda hate that you're still confused. No, sir, she's more than just my friend. Come on, man, why else would we be holding hands? holding? Why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands? His second cousin's wife has a daughter with a gay friend. Then he says that it's okay for us to kiss in front of him. Don't remember asking, I know that you mean well, but please just take the picture. I can ask somebody else. We got our bags at the hotel stand. Gone, we'll go around again. Yeah, we'll take the king size bed. I can tell you're looking for the man. We'll take the champagne too. Gotta say, I kinda hate that you're still confused. No, sir, she's more than just my friend. Come on, man, why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands? No, sir, she's more than just my friend. No, sir, that girl's my everything. Come on, man, yeah, we'll take the king size bed for two women. We'll take the champagne too, please and thank you. We'll take the king size bed. I can tell you're looking for the man. We'll take the champagne too. Oh, why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands? Holding, why else would we be holding hands?
Thank you. Here.
What's up, Punky?
I love the shirt. Y'all gonna have to DM me. Let me know where y'all got them shirts.
Oh, okay. We'll
Yeah,
send
y'all
you the
gotta
link.
like-
We'll send you the link.
Thank you. I love different. I love things that stand out. It's all plain. It's all black, but it stands out. I love it. I want it.
Yeah, but Punky, show your jacket.
Hold on now.
Ooh.
And I got on a see-through shirt. Okay.
She's got on a see-through shirt.
All right. I got bandages on the nips. Yep.
So good. It's so good.
Yep. My little lady's upset because I'm out here looking good.
Oh yeah, you guys know each other. You met when?
We met at Rick last year.
Yes,
we have the
Yes,
fan
we
back
did.
here.
Oh yeah.
The Stonewall and Rick
Rick. That was super fun. That was super fun.
That was so fun.
I didn't know you guys were streaming. I was upset. I was like, oh, they must be upstairs. But y'all are here.
I know. We're sad we're not there too.
They gotta be on tour.
You guys are busy. I'm so happy to stay in that bed. Stay in that bed and go out there and keep representing us.
We will. We absolutely
You
will.
guys are. I cannot thank you guys enough for the support you guys have given Venus.
Oh,
It
our
means-
pleasure. We're so stoked for you. We're so stoked for the whole community that now gets Venus as a platform to bring us all together. So thank you. Seriously, it's awesome.
Well, thank you guys. I mean, and I can't. They're gonna skyrocket. They are already skyrocketing. I mean,
Oh no, I love it. I love it. I love it. In the words of Kathy. No one knows what that means, but I think she just does this. We don't know, but I think it's a good thing.
It looks sexual. I don't know what that. I don't know. I'm not gonna go there. So you guys, really, thank you so much. And we are just we were dancing here, Punky and I.
Yes.
We love you.
hands.
We love you guys so much. And that is our peace out from us at Stonewall.
Right, baby.
We love you guys.
Love you
so much. We love you. Love you. We will be live again at 7:45 from the Stonewall. Thank you. There's Shirin. She is going to take over now. Thank you. All right, Shirin.
Well,
You're taking it.
I am.
You're taking it from here.
Wait, I thought you and I are going to chat a little bit. No?
We are?
Yes, what you want to chat about? We can chat.
Hi, Punky.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine.
A pleasure to meet you.
Where are you?
I am in my house with my pup and our 2 cats, and my wife is not even with me. I'm that exciting.
She kicked her wife out of the house.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. I know you better make a steak and some asparagus tonight. You can't just be kicking the wife out. You got to have a present.
I know, seriously. No, yes, that's gonna be tomorrow night, but I'm.
Like, how does it feel? Oh, like this is, I think this app is gonna be fantastic. I just want to let you know.
Thank you. I mean, I really.
Well, you know what I love about it the most?
Yeah.
It's not strictly about dating. You guys have to spread it out. And you might connect with someone on a more spiritual, physical level there, but it's not just about that, and that's what a lot of our apps are. Nothing is about community and finding safe spaces for us, and that is, I think, what I love the most about it.
Thank you for saying that, and it's kind of.
Prepare for that either.
What?
We didn't prepare.
I know. I'm like, are you like slipping our 20s or what's happening? No, I so appreciate that. And what you said is so important because there's no real reference. Like when we talk to people, they're like, oh, so it's like a dating app with a big community feature. We're like, no, I mean, hopefully dating will happen as, a byproduct of the community, and that'll be its own section and all of that. But I'm happily married. I wouldn't be on a dating app. And there's so many people, whether they are, in relationships or single, that may not be on a dating app. And what we need, and hopefully what we're offering, is a way of coming together, no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, no matter where you're from, and feeling a sense of belonging and being seen and being in a safe space to do that. And so the fact that you see that and feel that, and it just means a lot to me.
Oh yes, 100%, 100%. And coming from a person who travels a lot, kind of just sitting in a hotel all day. Now I can just jump on instead of, going to somebody and be like, oh, what are people at? Now I can just jump on the app. And I can just be like, hey, what are people at? I can do it in the app now instead of doing it in the middle of the street on the airplane like I used to.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's not what I say. I'm just saying.
Yes, especially now. I'm just going to. If you see me in the dress of some high heels, mind your business.
Hey, Shirin, you gotta take this out because I gotta get ready for the party upstairs. We gotta step and repeat outside.
Did it arrive? You're good?
We're good.
That's really good. No, so and if we haven't said it enough, there's also an amazing pool party happening in LA in California time, starting at 7 p.m. And that's put on by Damn Good Dyke Nights. And they are partnering with us. Anna Goodman is an amazing event producer, and that's happening in LA. So if you're watching this and you're on West Coast, please, and you're in the LA area, please join that. And we will hopefully have something in the San Francisco Bay Area very, very soon to celebrate. Is this a good time to toss to Lizzie?
think we need to toss to this, and I think you need to cut me out now so I can run.
Okay, you go have fun. I'm going to do an intro to Lizzie. Punky's so amazing.
Guys.
We'll be back at 7:45 p.m. Eastern.
We will be back.
We'll be back.
We're doing
Okay.
big things. We're doing big things.
Okay. All right. All right. So it's just me and a lot of airtime. No. So thank you all who have been watching. Anybody who has watched for the last 3 hours and almost 50 minutes. God bless you. Hope we've been entertaining, informative. For all y'all who have not joined, all you all queer women, trans, lesbian, non-binary, inclusive, all of you who are of the sapphic types, please follow. Hopefully our bit.ly link is in all sorts of descriptions and on the social channels and on YouTube, but it's bit.ly/Venus for free. Venus is capitalized, free is not, and sorry, Venus is capitalized, for is not, and free is capitalized. Hopefully it is in all the descriptions. So tossing to Lizzie the Lizzie. So if you, many of you may remember Lizzie the Lizzie. She is an amazing, you know what, let me just read the intro that I have for Lizzie, because Lizzie has made a comeback. All right, get ready because a queer icon is back. Lizzie the Lizzie, the animated stand-up comic who's been making us laugh, blush, and think since the early YouTube days, is returning in 3D. Cuter, sharper, and more of a disruptor than ever. And we thought it would be perfect to end with her video. Known for her unapologetically queer humor and playful social commentary, Lizzie has always been ahead of her time. And now she's teaming up with Venus to cause exactly the kind of joyful mischief our community deserves. Please welcome back the one and only Lizzie the Lizzie. And with that, we're going to conclude our virtual event. So Lizzie, take it away.
Really, America? Really? Dirty Donny douche nozzle again? Mr. Make America shit again? Jesus fucking Christ, what have you done? Every time he opens his mouth, it's like a horror story written by ChatGPT on crack and trained on Mein Kampf. We're gonna build a wall, the best wall, a wall between the genders, and we're gonna make the non-binary people pay for it. And pronouns. Sorry, I've got a they-them stuck in my throat. And it's not just America. No. The UK took one look at the shit show across the pond and said, hold my butterbeer and watch us yeet trans rights into the Thames. Well, I've had enough of fascist genocidal maniacs ruining it for everyone. I'm setting up a women's utopia where the fridges are stocked, the X's are blocked, and all of the socks are communal property. They'll be waking and baking and no orgasm faking. A world so queer, even our cats are in a throuple. Bunch of pussies. We'll have ethical non-monogamy, free sanitary products, and no goddamn religion or magic sky daddy. And don't come at me with crystals either. The only healing energy I want is good cunny and a nap. There won't be any weapons, bombs, or fucking guns. The only arms will be sexy and tattooed and know how to hold you through a panic attack. Sorry, gun toters. No one's compensating for anything here. You're triggered. Now I know what you're thinking. Lizzie, what will you do with all the men? Oh, sweetie, we'll relocate them peacefully to their natural habitat, the Joe Rogan comment section. What we really don't need is another world leader throwing tantrums like a toddler who dropped his chicken nuggets in shit. There's already a support group for that. It's called Men's Rights Activists. They meet every Tuesday to call each other cup and tell Alexa to make them a sandwich. In our utopia, leadership won't go to the richest tantrum thrower or the corrupt pussy grabber. It'll go to the one who brings you chocolate, hearts your TikTok, and solves group conflict without a drone strike or a 3-hour podcast about how hard it is to be a cis white man these days. The future is queer. Some will call it the collapse of society. I call it conscious uncoupling from the patriarchy. It's the long overdue upgrade that deletes the toxic masculinity virus and installs compassion, empathy, and a playlist called Songs to Process a Breakup with Your Ex Who You Still Live With because rent is too high. So strap in, strap on, and strap out of Earth to Venus. Just download the app at welcometovenus.com and blast off. I'm already packing. Are you?